This is a special presentation from News Channel Nebraska.
All right, good morning, everybody, and we welcome you to Arnold, Nebraska, the site of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge race for 2019. Hi, everybody. I'm Brent Apperson along with Jeremy Shipe, and we will be your hosts here at the start line for this great event as we are ready for another Sandhills Open Road Challenge. A very special day for us as we are presenting a television and radio broadcast, kind of a simulcast situation. Jeremy and I work with KCNI, KBBN Radio in Broken Bow, so we will be providing the information for you on the radio on KBBN 95.3 FM. And we want to say hello to all of our viewers watching on News Channel Nebraska. Want to say a big thank you to the Sandhills Open Road Challenge Committee and the organizers of the event who have made it possible for you to view our coverage of the race today. So we'll be working television and radio for you today as we say good morning to my partner, Jeremy Shipe. Jeremy, good morning.
Good morning.
Wow, what a great day. You can tell if you're watching on television, cloudy skies, overcast as we get the day started, but you kind of feel as though the sun is going to try to peek out as we go through things today.
Yeah, certainly more overcast than it was yesterday, but the same kind of feel in the air when we went out to the shootout races yesterday. Dense might be the right word for it, just very, very wet feeling, very humid. That'll clear up, obviously, when the sun comes up a little bit. But don't think it doesn't affect the racers because the way these engines run and things like that, certainly a little bit more dry air would be ideal. But they'll start nonetheless, and we'll have lots of great racing action today.
Yeah, we've got a great day planned for you. We will be here at the start. This is where Jeremy and I are set up. Of course, there are two legs to this race. They race on the county road in between the communities of Arnold and Dunning. So there will be a trip to Dunning from here in Arnold and then a return trip coming back to Arnold. And both of the legs of the race, Jeremy, are very important. As we go through our coverage today, for those of you who are not real familiar with the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, there will be cars that will be in different mile-per-hour class categories. And we will start, I believe, today with the 80-mile-an-hour class. And what that will entail is for people to try to average that speed on both legs of the race today. And when you think about the course that is laid out for these drivers, there are some challenging aspects to it. There are some tight turns, and you have to try to average all of that out in your mind as you are driving, and it really makes for a challenging race for the drivers today.
Yeah, so all the different drivers have different ways they try to figure it out. Maybe some of them have a handheld stopwatch. I've heard sometimes egg timers are even used on the dash of the car. Whatever way they feel that they can average out that speed without going over the tech speed, which is also important to remember. The tech speed is the speed they can't go over the top of when trying to hit their target speed average. However they do that, whatever the method is, they're all going to be putting forth their best effort today to try to get that average nice and close. And when they get to that turnaround point, they'll kind of give them an update and say, well, here's where you're at. Maybe try to slow it down a little bit or speed it up. And then the second half of the race is where they really try to fine-tune things.
We are expecting racing to get going at around 8:30 this morning. They have sent the pace car out. Those of you who are familiar with the Arnold area, Bruce McConnell, I think, was here again with his red Corvette. He's been doing that, I think, maybe even every single year this race has been going on, and he is out on the course checking things out. And that brings us, Jeremy, to something that we always do every year, and that is send out a big thank you to all of the volunteers who are needed to put on something like this, because basically every portion of this road needs to be viewed so that everybody can be safe, because safety is the main thing that everybody wants to make sure we come out of with today.
Yeah, safety is big, and you and I were standing here when all of the safety crews went by. It was like being at a huge parade. It was like the end of a parade, tons of fire trucks, ambulances, everything. And they were all cruising out and going to their spots, and they did their radio checks and everything, so they're good to go.
We do want to take just a moment and thank those who are sponsoring today's coverage on our radio station, KBBN 95.3 FM, and we want to say thank you to A1 Auto Repair, Reed's Food Center, State Farm Insurance, Donna Cahill, your local representative, also Govier Brothers Mortuary, the Nebraska State Bank, Mills Hardware and Feed of Arnold, Trotter Service of Broken Bow, Winquist Auto in Broken Bow, Grazer's Bar and Grill in Arnold, Agribest Feeds of Callaway, LB Custom Chrome and Detail of Broken Bow, and Shotgun Annie's Saloon and Grill in Callaway. And again, a big thank you to the Sandhills Open Road Challenge Committee and everybody involved with SORC as they are helping bring you this special television broadcast as well on News Channel Nebraska. We will step away for a moment. We'll come back with more from here at the start line. You are watching and listening to live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and we will continue after this 2-minute timeout.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
With the challenges our nation faces as the consumption of gasoline increases, the strategic location of Husker Ag allows this ethanol plant to produce nearly 80 million gallons a year, which requires almost 30 bushels of corn a year. Access to rail distribution and centered in a productive growing area east of Plainview on Highway 20, Husker Ag creates jobs, has on-farm pickup of corn, and supports area schools and organizations. Husker Ag LLC, helping communities grow and proud to be part of Nebraska's production of ethanol.
At Shop Easy, we like to make all ages smile. From farmers to truckers to Shop Easy future customers. We make sure we have a large selection of food, snacks, beverages, and incidentals to make your break in your day convenient and courteous. With easy parking 24/7. We can accommodate the night shift, the early morning workers, fishermen, and travelers. Shop Easy, south of Yankton, is owned and operated by the Santee Sioux Nation.
And again, we welcome you back to Arnold, Nebraska, getting close to the start of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge 2019. This is the 19th Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and I can remember, Jeremy, when this was being put together, there were so many people who were so instrumental in bringing this to central Nebraska and to the Arnold area. It really kind of just started out as an idea, as a dream, and then you know how those things happen. It starts as an idea and then a dream, and then people have to work together to make that dream a reality, and that is what has happened now for the 19th year here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Yeah, and you'll see, folks, throughout this this broadcast, if we on the radio, we'll describe the folks that have the SORC Lifer sticker on the side of their vehicle, and it's surrounded by a bunch of stars usually. Each of those stars represents a year that they've been at the race, and there are going to be a few cars that have 19 of those stars on them.
Yeah.
That means that they were here for the first one, and they've been here for every single one since, and they plan on being at every one in the future as well.
Of course, this is kind of the third major event of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Several of these drivers arrived in the area earlier in the week and participated in the loop-to-loop race, which is also a road race up in the Halsey and Purdom area. And then yesterday, Jeremy, a lot of these drivers were a part of the half-mile and mile shootout, where speed is the key in that event, and you had the opportunity to be there to witness it yesterday.
Yeah, we actually got in the 1 mile a perfect run. Ended up being 3 speeds that were exactly the same all the way down to the 10th of a mile an hour. It was absolutely perfect, and that happened in the 1 mile shootout. And then in the half mile had several different times that were within a few tenths of a mile an hour, which I think is absolutely amazing.
All right, we have our first car coming to the start line now, and that is Fred Schneider and Maria Schneider of Beamer, Nebraska. They're in the number 63 car, driven by Fred, navigated by his daughter. Fred has been racing in the Sork since the second year it was held, and this will be his daughter's 7th year. Fred is the owner of Beamer Body Shop and is happily married to Terry. And so they are getting ready to get things started. Again, we're going to start in the 80-mile-an-hour class. That will be the first class off running here today. There are, again, 2 legs to the race. They will race up toward the Dunning area and then the return trip. And both of those legs will be measured as far as how they average their speed. And both legs will be calculated into how these cars finish today.
Yep, very familiar car with the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Deep blue color, and very cool to get Sork 2019 kicked off with a 63 Corvette.
All right. Fred Schneider watching his lights, and we are ready to go, folks. You'll get to see it and hear it. And there we go. Fred Schneider is off, and we are running in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge for 2019.
And already we've got our second car. We're waiting to come up to the line, and there's lots of whistling and lots of hand waving going on. They're trying to get John Slack up to the line in car 51, a 2017 Subaru. Yeah, he's way back there.
Well, and one thing that you will notice, folks, is that they do try very hard to keep things moving. And the distance, there is a portion of the race that a car needs to get to, and once they pass that point, they are immediately sending the car behind them. So we will see that distance kind of broadened out a little bit with the different mile-per-hour classes that come to us, but right now we're in the 80-mile-an-hour class, and now we're ready to bring John Slack to the line. John is from Bennington, Nebraska, a 2017 Subaru, and our book showing us that he is a rookie driver, so this will be John's first experience here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Nice-looking red Subaru. Number 51 is the number it's going to be wearing for the race. And again, remember, folks, for these first few cars, we'll tell you that they're going to be in the 80-mile-an-hour class. Their target speed is 80 miles an hour. Their tech speed is 120 miles an hour. So they shoot for their average to be 80, and their tech speed, which is the speed they can't go over, to be 120 miles an hour.
And that'll bring to the line now David Sanderson. They're in car number 164. David, is another rookie driver. It's showing Todd Heck as the navigator. David out of Glidden, Iowa. Todd from Coon Rapids, Iowa, bringing their Ford Fiesta to the line as they get ready to take off. And there they go as they start their first experience at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Up next, number 42. This is a 02 Ford F-250, and this is some local flavor, folks. This, of course, the number 42 pickup with the word Moose across the back. This is driven by Rob Walton, and the navigator is Alex Marney.
All right. And you will feel that there will be some local flavor to this race. In fact, the local flavor is we send off the pickup number 42. As we send it off on the line, there's kind of become a little bit more local flavor to this race, Jeremy, as the years have progressed.
Yeah, and the locals, they see the racers come in and they say, hey, I'm going to work my way towards getting a vehicle in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And they do just that, and we'll try to call out where everyone is from throughout the race today. Jessica Morton and Andrea Reed up next, and they are off in car 455.
Jessica showing as a rookie driver, and this is one thing that we've kind of noticed in covering the loop-to-loop race on the radio on Thursday and the half-mile and mile shootout yesterday, and that is there are a lot of first-timers in the race this year, and you can see that many of them are starting off in that 80-mile-an-hour class.
Car 577, Bill Kelly and Cheryl Kelly up next. This is a cool-looking 89 Lincoln Mark 7. It's deep blue in color.
Bill and Cheryl Kelly have been open road racing since 2009 in both Texas and Nevada. says that they've had reasonable success, but not always, and then it says in parentheses, it's best to listen to your navigator. So Bill will attempt to do that as Bill and Cheryl from San Diego, California get ready to take off in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
So we'll see, and they get a nice ease into it, so they're off and running. And just like that, we're up to our 7th car of 14 here in the 80-mile-an-hour class. This is Gary Linsner and Michael Linsner in car 365, a 2014 Camaro. It says blue here. It's like a gunmetal blue, I think. It's cool looking.
Gary's showing us another rookie driver in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge this year, so we welcome them to the area. Says Gary's from Fresno, California, and there they go, their opening leg of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge 2019.
All right, up next, car number 71, Charlie Friend, in a 2004 Chevy Tahoe. It'll be our 8th car in the 80-mile-an-hour class.
Charlie retired from the Air Force as a fighter pilot in 1980. Following his retirement, he was extremely fortunate to land a job flying military-type jet fighters for a civilian company under government contract. And now he takes off in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Charlie coming to us from New Mexico.
Dave Burney and myself both like the older cars, and here's one right here. This thing has been modified to run in road races like this. It's a 1966 Chevy Nova. Trenton Zesson and Jared Halverson will be driving in this one.
And these are two newcomers again to the Sandhills Open Road Challenge as they give the spectators a nice show as they take off in style here this year. Again, Trenton from, Malcolm, Nebraska. Jared is from Raymond, and they are making their first appearance at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Speaking of style, look at the body lines on this next car that is pulled up to the line. Byron Burnham in a 75 Chevy Vega, number 175. He spins the tires a little bit. He is off and racing.
Again, we continue in the 80-mile-an-hour class. The driver's job is to try to average as close to that 80 mile an hour that they can on both trips, down and back, here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
2 Michael Rasmussens in this next car, Brent. Michael Rasmussen, the second, the driver, and Michael Rasmussen is the navigator. This is an 09 Volvo.
And they come to us from Plattsmouth, Nebraska as they take off. Mike and Michael first found out about the SORC a few years ago when Mike was surfing the internet and stumbled across an article about the event in past years, then discovered the SORC website, and the rest is history. They are here to participate again in 2019.
Up next is a 74 Datsun, Brent Skiles and Jim Tvering. And they get their green light and squat the car down, and they're out on the course as well.
Brent, another first-timer here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Brent and Jim, lifelong friends and gearheads. Brent Skiles of Holdridge and Jim During of Grand Island finally crossing the Sandhills Open Road Challenge off of their bucket list as they participate here this year.
All right, we are getting closer to the end of the 80-mile-an-hour class. In fact, this is our second to last car. This is a crowd favorite. This is a cool-looking purple 73 Challenger, and the color, in fact, says Plum Crazy.
And I think this is one that we will allow you to just enjoy and hear as they get ready to take off. Bill Schneider of Malcolm, Nebraska. Navigator showing is Paige Schneider of Lincoln, Nebraska. They await for the go-ahead. They'll watch for their lights, and here we go.
Going to be plenty loud. I think there might have been some miscommunication there on the start. A little bit of a delay there as they got off of the line a couple seconds after the green light went on, and that's going to factor into their time moving forward because they're going to have to make up that time. Up next, the last car, I believe, of the 80-mile-an-hour class. It's a 2018 Subaru, a dark gray color.
All right, showing is Rudy Sternot of Lincoln, Nebraska. Has run in 16 events at Sork. Has run a variety of different types of cars, Porsches, Mini Coopers, Subaru, and the RX-7. Ran the first event and placed second in it. It says this is the best event every year. They've done other events in Texas, Nevada, Kansas, and Wisconsin, and they are off and running here in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge this year.
And you won't see those Subarus break loose very often, as they are all-wheel drive, so they're not going to spin their tires like this car in front of us is probably going to. Car 555, Kirk Sharp and Court Grooms in a 2015 Z06.
Kirk from Valentine, Nebraska. Court from Valentine as well. Kirk says that he and wife Deb moved from factory from the Omaha area to Valentine. They built a home overlooking the scenic Niobrara River on their ranch east of Valentine. An avid bow hunter and fisherman. Meanwhile, Court Grooms, who serves as the navigator, also from Valentine, and a former Chevrolet service manager, now operations manager at Radiant Systems Incorporated. Their greatest goal again this year is to receive first place in fun. And that is the one thing you'll hear from all of these drivers, and that is the enjoyment that they have coming to this race and being a part of this community, which really gets big for these 3 days and more of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And they are just about ready to have fun with the course as they wait for their lights and get ready to take off here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
And again, folks, the delay here is because we are between mile-per-hour classes, so we're now in the 90 Extreme class, so they're going to be going a little bit faster than the 80-mile-an-hour class ahead of them, so they give them a little bit of extra time so that they don't catch up to the car in front of them. So that's the cause for the delay here. Inside the car, I see them tapping around on a computer inside. You can't help but think that there's a good chance a lot of money is sitting in the cab of these cars as well, trying to figure out the timing of the racing as well.
Yeah, and some of these folks, they will, as we go through the race today and we announce where some of these drivers are from, they come great distances to be a part of this event. Some of them, Jeremy, will drive the car here. Others will trailer it here. But for many, it is there's a lot of miles put on just to get here.
Yeah, and a few of the bios that we read today, they will say, yep, I never put this thing on a trailer. I drive it absolutely everywhere. So definitely something that a few of them take a lot of pride in, having their car be on the road all the time.
All right, Kirk and Court getting the okay. They'll watch for their lights, and we are just about ready to go now with the first entrant in the 90 Extreme.
And that's pretty extreme. And we've got one other Extreme class driver up next, car number 85, Barry Conkin and Jim Conkin in a 2016 Corvette.
Barry from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Jim from Cheyenne, Wyoming. They've competed in 15 of the past 18 Sork races. They've been to every loop-to-loop race, which was run earlier this week on Thursday. Extremely proud to say that they ran the first Sork and the first loop-to-loop races. So these guys know this course well, and it's great to have them back participating here in 2019.
And you see the E in front of the 85. That leads me to believe this car is tuned to run on E85 gas. Sometimes can be hard to find around here, so they probably brought a good amount of fuel with them.
Well, they watch for their lights, and they are off.
Up next, we've got our first car of the 90-mile-an-hour class. This is Bruce Younglove in an 08 Corvette, and they bring the cone out in front to tell him, hold on, we're going to wait a little bit before we start this next class.
Well, we see a few of the organizers on their phones right now, which would lead you to believe, well, no, they're going to pull the cone, so looks like maybe we're okay. you never know, obviously, Jeremy, what is happening on the road in front of us here, and that can certainly slow down. I mean, we've had the race stop for a variety of things, even a deer or wildlife crossing over the road that has slowed some things down in past years. So that's where those volunteers come in, where they watch things extremely close.
I think we've had deer, turkey, and a few other animals over the years that have caused some problems. Off goes Bruce Younglove, and that brings up car number 8, John Schmidt, in a 90 Corvette.
By the way, Bruce was from Blaine, Minnesota, so he certainly has traveled a good distance to be here. John, he's from right here in Nebraska, Lincoln, Nebraska. So we welcome John back. And John just about ready to start his run, and there he goes.
Car number 33, Adam Rogers and Jeff Dolson up next. A 2010 BMW, nice looking car. They'll be the third car in the 90-mile-an-hour class.
Adam and Jeff of Durango, Colorado, says they didn't even get to the city limits before they decided they would be doing this again. It was simple. The town and its people are the best. The ribbon of asphalt is fun to drive. And they say hello to their fellow Sork racers as they are off and running again this year.
Up next, we've got Scott and Barbara Noall in an 86 Porsche. It's black. Again, their target speed is 90 miles an hour, and their tech speed is 120 miles an hour.
And here's a couple of more that come to us from our neighboring state of Colorado as they are ready to participate again in Sork. Very excited to participate in Sork this year, as well as the Loop-to-Loop. Says that this is their 6th time racing. And they are just about ready to go as they watch for their lights in front of them. They, like many, are always looking forward to coming back and seeing their friends again, and of course enjoy the wonderful hospitality that is always shown to everyone here in Arnold, Nebraska.
All right, so they roll back a little bit, and they are off and running here in Sandhills Open Road Challenge 2019. Car number 84, Dave Wallace, no navigator listed. There is a set of hands over there, though, so I can confirm there is a navigator. This is a 1984 Corvette.
Again, we are in the 90-mile-an-hour class, and this class has several drivers in it. As we send another one off on the track in front of us.
Car number 124 is up next. Randy Bauer and Alex Bauer in a 2011 Corvette. Nice looking white vehicle.
Randy and Alex from the Cornhusker State. Down the highway a little bit in McCook, Nebraska. This is their 10th year at Sork. Randy and son Alex off and running in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
I like the color of this car. It's a burnt orange Ford Mustang car 131, Craig Kerr and Natalie Vampola, a 2015 Mustang in the 90-mile-an-hour class.
Craig from Lincoln, Nebraska, another one of our drivers from the capital city here with us today. And we send Craig Kerr off and running here at Sork.
Car 173 is up next. Samer Damer and Safe Damer, a 2018 Camaro. And as you folks that are watching on News Channel Nebraska can see, this is a sharp looking car. Lots of people like these newer body style Camaros.
And he got a little bit anxious, took off before he got the green. So they will back him up. They'll bring him back to the start line, and they'll reset the lights and then let him take off. Samer is another one of our rookie drivers making his first appearance here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And already, Jeremy, I think that I have announced more first-timers this year than I ever have in any of the years past.
There are a lot, that's for sure. And I think he saw the little green light at the top and thought that was his go. You got to wait for the big green light down there on the bottom, And he gets it that time and heads out on the course. Car 321, Jim Miller and John Miller up next. This, I believe this is our first Viper.
I think you could be right, yeah.
I think it's our first Viper.
Jim from North Platte, Nebraska, not too far away. And son John is the navigator, John from Omaha. Second time running in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Avid racer of the Viper Rendezvous at the Motorsport Park in Hastings. Now they come here to participate in Sork.
Up next comes a Sork Lifer. You can see the sticker on the side as they roll up to the starting line. This is Greg Smellick in the 300 car. This is a 1994 Nissan. And the green light sends him off on the course. Car 301 is up next. This is Ray Smellick, a 90 Nissan 300ZX. They ran back-to-back in the shootout yesterday as well, if I'm remembering right. He's also got that Sork Lifer sticker on there. I think he's a Raiders fan. It looks like a Raiders sticker on the driver's window.
I was just about to say that. Looks like he's got the Raiders sticker right there on the window. And they are off and running in Sork.
Had his phone stuck to the windshield, and he got the green light and pushed a little button to keep his time, and they're off and running. Car 57, Tom Pryford and Randy Ritterling in an 07 Mustang, white and silver in color. This is a Shelby.
And for Tom, 11th year at Sork. For Randy, the Navigator, 10th year. Randy and Tom hope to finish better than they did last year, they say, but they have such a great time in Arnold every year because of the people that put this event together and all of the volunteers.
I like their license plate. It said "kinda fast" on it. Car 180, Jeremy Andresen and Kenneth Danner in a 2000 Corvette. Another red Corvette up here at the starting line at Sork 2019.
And Jeremy coming to us from Ashland, Nebraska, another one of the first-timers, showing as a rookie driver here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
And they are off and running, going past the cell tower down there. Big straightaway to start off the Sork race, and I've heard a lot of the racers say that that is part of their favorite part of Sork, is that straightaway to start it out. Some people like the turns, some people like the straightaways because they can go fast, but this course offers it all. 302, Chad Smith and Donna Smith in a bright yellow 2013 Mustang up next.
Chad and Donna from Alliance, Nebraska, as they take off.
Up next, a white Camaro, Leland Sweet and Robert Parsons. This is a 2015 Camaro. They are our 15th car in the 90-mile-an-hour class as they are up at the starting line.
Leland from Texas, coming up here from down south, listed as another rookie driver, so another first-timer that we send off on the course here at Sork.
Here comes the Cadillac. Peggy Faber and Lindsay Faber, 2016 Cadillac. Black, of course, like most Cadillacs are. If they're not black, it seems like they're white or red, doesn't it?
Yes.
I never see a yellow Cadillac. I just don't. Cadillacs are classy.
Peggy showing from Crossville, Tennessee. Lindsay from Cincinnati, Ohio. Great to have them both back here for the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Very powerful engine in those Cadillacs. Cool looking Firebird rolls up here next. This is car 470, Spencer Bernard and Garrett Peterson. This is a 1970 Pontiac Firebird. It's got that burnt orange looking color, and I'm going to venture to guess that's original paint, Brent. That's very, very cool.
We'll tell you about Spencer once he takes off, because I don't think you'll be able to hear me over the top of him. Spencer Bernard from Casper, Wyoming in that 1970 Pontiac Firebird, now out on the course as we continue in the 90-mile-an-hour class.
Speaking of loud cars, 480 is up next. Robbie Miller and Jamie Johnston, and they were in the shootout yesterday, and they were absolutely cooking. I can't remember their time off the top of my head, but it was fast, so we wish them luck out here on the track.
And there goes Robbie from North Platte, Nebraska. Another rookie driver, by the way.
Another rookie driver getting up here, backfiring, making plenty of noise before he heads out on the track, getting everyone's attention. Car 370 up next of Clay Hansen with navigation by Dave Webster, an 05 Mazda RX-8. And I can already tell it's going to be much quieter than what we just experienced.
And these two show from Utah, so they've certainly had a good distance to travel to get here to this event, and they too are participating for the first time.
Here we have a 2019 Corvette, Brent, brand new. There can't be very many miles on this. This is Kevin Weisbeck and Dan Rohrbach, and this is a maroon 2019 Corvette, very sharp looking.
Well, they will certainly be able to test it out on the course that is in front of them today.
Car 87 up next, Ron Helmer and Hannah Helmer, 2015 Corvette. Sharp looking car.
Again, showing in our book of information here as another rookie driver making their first appearance here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. You know, we've been talking about all of these newcomers that are here to participate in the race. Another thing that has really grown over the years, Jeremy, has been the spectators, the number of spectators that go out on the road in the designated places to watch the race, and those who come and show up here at the starting line. I remember when we started this about 19 years ago, there were just kind of a handful of people. Now there are hundreds that come out and watch this event.
Yeah, and the crowd gets bigger and bigger each year as car 430, a 2018 McLaren, is out on the course. Kirk Wolfenbarger and Tom Jones on the track. And another McLaren rolls to the track now. Greg Sidwell and Howard Chapman in a 2015 McLaren. A few years old, but that car, the word old should not go in the same sentence. That is beautiful.
Right.
The license plate says I do 210, so you know it's probably been there. Car 888 up next, Scott Minton and Shelly Minton, a 2003 Corvette. It's a black one.
Scott and Shelley coming to us from Overland Park, Kansas. Scott, a district parts and service manager for Subaru of America.
We were talking yesterday. I said, I'm surprised he doesn't drive a Subaru, drives the Corvette in the races. And then Dave said, well, you know, he's probably got plenty of Subarus. So he's probably got some Subarus at home as well. Car 903 up next in the 90-mile-an-hour class. This is Michael Sabatka and Brent Culp in a 96 Camaro. It's forest green in color.
Michael from Valparaiso, Nebraska. Of course, Brent from right here in Arnold, Nebraska. Brent, I know he and his family very involved in SORC through the years. I believe that they welcome in some of the drivers to their home, and that is one thing that you will find here when you think about all the people that travel the miles to be a part of this event. Yeah, some will come, they'll camp, some of them will stay in a hotel, but there are many homes in the Arnold and surrounding areas that open up their places to these drivers and really welcome them in as part of their family for this event.
And as he gets out on the course, we bring up our last car of the 90-mile-an-hour class. This is the 948 of Mark Bolton and Juanita Bolton. This is a 1989 Porsche. And when you think Porsche, you think of this model. You think of it in red, and you think about it racing down the road. And here it is for us to witness today.
Mark from Lakewood, Colorado. Oh, wait a minute.
Oh, we have another false start, I believe.
I think so. So Mark is going to visit with the crew that runs the start here, and I think they're going to reset his lights. I don't think the car in the next mile-per-hour class is already moved up behind him, so I think they're not going to have him back up. They'll just reset the lights, and send him on his way. There we go.
And I noticed he had his window down. I'm pretty sure it was a thing in the past years that they make them roll their windows up. I'm surprised that he's out on the course with his window down. We'll have to see how that progresses going forward. But he was our last car of the 90-mile-an-hour class, and that brings us to the 95-mile-per-hour class. Car 23 sitting in front of us. This is a 2013 Porsche, but not what you typically think of. You think of, the Porsche cars. Of course, they make SUVs as well, and they're plenty fast.
Yes, they are. And since there is a little bit of a break in the action, we're going to take a short little time out here. We'll be back with more racing. You're watching and listening to live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and we'll be back in 1 minute.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
Columbus Motor Company is the first car dealer to bring the best price philosophy to Columbus. They've always believed that when buying a new vehicle, the customer shopping experience should come first. No hype, no gimmicks, just consistent quality service every time you shop. And don't forget, Columbus Motor Company is the only dealership that offers a 5-day, 30-day policy. Stop by during their summer clearance event or start shopping now at columbusmotorcompanyne.com. Columbus Motor Company. One low price, plain and simple, always.
And again, we welcome you back to Arnold, Nebraska, getting ready to move into the 95-mile-an-hour class as we continue here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And our first driver of the new mile-per-hour class is pulling up to the start line as we speak.
Malcolm Morrison, that 2013 Porsche, kind of a light silver color, almost white. Very cool looking car.
Malcolm coming to us from Boulder, Colorado. And we are off and going in the 95-mile-an-hour class. Again, if you're just joining us, every car participating in this race has selected a certain class that they will participate in. And then their job is, during the 2 legs of this race, they'll go down toward the Dunning area and then the return trip back to Arnold. And in both legs, they will try to average that mile-per-hour speed in the class that they are participating in.
Car 861, Wayne Walgrave and Dave Bowen out on the course, an 06 Ford GT. Ford came out with that as their response to the supercar movement, so that was their supercar that they released. And you folks are seeing on News Channel Nebraska right now, we've got a picture-in-picture so you can see what the drivers are looking at when they're getting ready to go out on the course. They get that countdown with the clock around the outside, and then you see the orange squares moving down, and then when it turns green at the bottom, that's when they take off, just as Dave Smith and Dustin Olson are doing right now in a 2017 Corvette Z06. Car 68, we're going to follow up a Corvette with a Mustang. Rick Kruger and Linda Kruger in a red 2017 Mustang.
Linda and Rick coming to us from Lyons, Kansas. Been long-time participants of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. They're excited to be here for their 12th year.
We're getting plenty of spin on the tires, but we're not getting as much smoke. I think just because the road is still a little bit wet from the dew this morning. I think as things dry out from both the tires and the air, we're going to have more tire spinning and more smoke later on. Alan Golden and Mark Golden in a 2016 Camaro up next, car 511.
Both from Minnesota, Alan from Inver Grove Heights and Mark from New Ulm, Minnesota. Good to have them here. Again, weather conditions right now, very favorable, certainly from a spectator standpoint. We have cloud cover. It's overcast here this morning. We've kind of been watching the radar a little bit on some shower activity maybe off in the distance and around the area, but certainly nothing weather-wise has come here to delay us, and it's really turned into quite a comfortable morning.
So we follow up the blue Camaro with a blue Corvette. This is number 91, Mike McCullough and Bob McCullough in a 2016 Corvette.
Mike and Bob from Lincoln, Nebraska. They've been here for just about all of them. It's number 18 for them as they participate once again in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. They bring their blue Corvette Stingray back to the competition today, and they are off and going.
And Mike hit his timer just as they went across the starting line, so he's looking to keep close time as they get going. Car 102 is up to the starting line. David Wagg and Scott Fry, a 2013 Mustang, silver in color.
David from Watertown, South Dakota. Scott the Navigator coming to us from Loveland, Colorado. David says he loves drag racing and road racing. This is his 4th year for the Sork race. Also participated earlier this week in the Loop-to-Loop.
Joey Brazina and Mike Floor up next in a 1998 Acura. These cars are usually mistaken for being much newer than they actually are, and that's because these Acuras, in my opinion, were ahead of their time. Very futuristic looking.
Joey, another driver from our home state of Nebraska, from Papillion, and there he goes.
So up comes another Acura, this one driven by Paul Hamer, number 96, a familiar car here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and you can tell by the stickers on his car he's doing a bunch of other road races as well. Many of these drivers like to participate in as many road races as possible.
Yeah, Paul's from Blair, Nebraska. Says he heard of Sork in 2019 and then was able to participate for the first time in 2010. And he, like so many, once they experience this event, they have been coming back year after year.
So our triple play of Acuras continues, Brent, as we bring up our 3rd Acura in a row. This one, the oldest of the 3, but it's the brightest of the 3. It's bright red. It's a 91 Acura NSX. Rod Bilderback at the driver's seat.
And I think what you just said would be an accurate description.
Oh, ouch.
Hey, how about that? That was terrible, wasn't it?
The puns have come out. What time is it? 9:07? Right. 9:07's the time for the puns.
Yeah. Rod Bilderback is from Bennington, Nebraska, and they're off and going in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Speaking of crowd favorites, Jeremy, here's one that comes to the start line.
Yeah. Chris Thorkildsen and Barry Larson in a 65 Cobra. There's no roof on it. They're just going to be out in the open air racing down the track, and there they go with that cool looking Cobra.
Both from South Dakota making the trip here to Nebraska this year.
Car 177 up next, Jim Macera and Bill Mast. A 1998 Mustang red in color. Got the 4.6 liter engine in it, and they're just a few seconds away.
Yeah, from Wichita, Kansas. And there they go, competing in their 5th Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and also competed in the Loop-to-Loop for the 5th time earlier this week.
Car 27 is up next. A blacked out Corvette. Sean Smetter and Mike Brenning are going to be the driver and navigator. 2016 Corvette, black in color. As they put on a little bit of a show going down the track. A little bit of smoke there. That'll help dry out 2 strips down for at least the first 30 feet. Car 204 is next, Jason Hornaday and Todd Vance. This is a 2016 Cadillac.
Jason from Grand Island, Todd from Columbus, Nebraska. They've been best friends for 20 years, both shooting sports professionals. Live about 1,000 miles apart, but they talk every day. 2 years ago, they entered for the first time. They had a blast, and they are back for their 3rd Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
So often we talk about cars that we recognize year in and year out at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and one is just pulled to the starting line. The 75 Datsun of Alan Kortmeyer and Pred Paul. This is a red and gold vehicle. Very cool. If you folks get a chance to look at it up close, definitely do so. they're going to be out on the course next.
Yep, they're ready to tackle the challenge of the road, mix and mingle with friends and family alike. Always a big push to get the car ready, sometimes changing an engine 2 days before they load it to come to Arnold. But they have it ready to go once again, and they are off on the track.
It's amazing that these guys can decide to change an engine or have the ability to change an engine when struggles come forth within that amount of time, isn't it? Here's a cool looking car. Kevin Duffy and Scott LaPointe in a 64 Chevelle.
Scott from Belle Plaine, Minnesota. Kevin from Cottage Grove, Minnesota, as they make the trip here to the state of Nebraska to compete in our race today.
Car 350 is our fifth to last 95-mile-an-hour class car, driven by Rick Taylor. Gene Taylor will be the navigator. This is a 2019 Corvette, another brand new Corvette, sharp-looking blue and red.
Rick from Omaha, Nebraska, ready to compete in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge once again.
Car 364 is up next. Ken Reese with a 2015 Corvette.
Ken from Las Vegas, North Las Vegas, Nevada is where Ken comes to us from. He's a United States Air Force retired, or has retired from the United States Air Force, also a retired high school teacher as well. Has spent 15 years of open road racing. Experience as both a driver and navigator, and we wish him the best as he is out and running here this morning.
Steve Faber and Russell Faber up next in a 2013 Corvette, kind of a gunmetal gray. Nice looking Corvette. He's got the dark tinted windows. Couldn't see his face if we wanted to.
Steve from Crossville, Tennessee says Russ is from Cincinnati, Ohio. Was invited to Cadillac Performance Driving Experience 6 years ago. Was so impressed with the CTSV that he bought a used one, and now he's bringing it to road races and competing.
So he's got a Cadillac at home in the garage. That's pretty
Yeah.
cool. I'm not jealous at all. Don't worry, Brent.
Well,
oh,
it's very hard to come to this event and not get jealous from time to time when you see all of these beautiful rides that come out and participate in this event year after year.
So we're waiting on another car to come to the starting line. Believe car 589 should be up next. So we'll see if they pull up. We're kind of behind the bleachers here at the start line, so we'll try to get a good look at when our next car is going to come up. We should have two more cars in the starting line. This is Michael Schultz and Garrett Moore in a 2003 Mustang. And the cone comes out because we are about to switch classes. We will go, if I can figure out how to flip pages here, we'll go from the 95-mile-an-hour class up to the 100-mile-an-hour class. We'll have 16 cars in this class, and again, they'll pause for a little bit so that they can get the course ready and spaced out enough to have these faster mile-per-hour class cars get out on the track.
And since they pause, we will pause as well. We'll take a short little time out. We'll be back with more coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge in 1 minute.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
We work every day to make your lives easier. I'm Jeremiah with Diode Technologies of Diller.
Smart home automation allows digital devices that you use every day, like TVs, audio equipment, lights, security panels, and thermostats, to work together with easy-to-use devices like a remote control, tablet, or even your smartphone. With smart home automation, your whole home becomes more comfortable, convenient, and easier to control.
To learn more about how Diode Technologies can customize your smart home for your family, give me a call today. I'm Jeremiah with Diode Technologies of Diller, your local technology solutions company.
And we bring you back to coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, ready to go now in the 100-mile-an-hour class, and Wayne Hora is going to start us off.
Megan Evanson is his navigator. They're in a 1990 Corvette, a little bit of squeal of the tires, and they are out on the track. Again, in this mile-per-hour class, target average speed is 100 miles an hour, and in order to accomplish that, their tech speed that they can max out at is at 140 miles an hour.
And Wayne is another one of those Sork lifers. He lives just down the highway a bit in Stapleton, Nebraska, so great to have Wayne back for his 19th run at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. By the way, our good friend Dave Burney, who is at the other end of our course here today, has informed us that the 80 mile an hour and 90 extreme class are all in. So we have had a very wonderful start and a smooth run to the event here so far.
Speaking of Sork lifers, another one up at the starting line right now, Leroy Urich and Dustin Gronseth in an 08 Mustang, white and blue, and they're off and running in that Shelby Mustang.
Leroy from Pierre, South Dakota, ready again for his annual trip to what he calls the best little city in the country.
Car 40 has pulled up to the starting line here in the 100 mile an hour class. This is Darren Brewer. Sean Robinson is the navigator. This is a 2000 Mustang, red in color.
Darren from Gretna, Nebraska, but Sean showing us that he comes from Heber City, Utah. Darren, a native Nebraskan, owns and operates a wholesale siding and roofing company. When he's not working, he and his wife keep busy with their 4 children, enjoys hunting, fishing, and motorsports.
Oh, wow. Hard to believe in a souped-up Mustang in front of us that he's into motorsports, but so he'll have a few seconds. And again, as we get into these higher mile-per-hour classes, they leave a little bit more space in between the cars because that tech or maximum speed they can go is so much higher. Same course, different speeds between these mile-per-hour classes, so the spacing is much different. Car 44, Tom Kirk and Brian Kirk up next. This is a 2004 Porsche. I'm going to tell you folks, this car sounds awesome. Listen to it when it takes off.
Yeah, Tom and Brian come to us from Lincoln, Nebraska, so another couple of guys coming from the capital city to join us here today. And they are just about ready to compete once again here at Sork.
I believe we're going to have a change in our next car out here, Brent. We're not going to have car 77 as it says here in the program. We're going to have car 120 from Scott Mann. As this Porsche gets ready to get out on the course, kind of a matte white color. That could be the dew that's on these cars. A lot of these cars, the paint looks so much different when there's dew out in the morning. Kind of makes the paint a little bit more dull than normal. I think it's a cool look. I like the matte color look. So car 44, I believe, is should be about 10 seconds away. We didn't get the 10-second cue. A few of the folks are on their radios. A little bit more of a delay before this car goes, so hopefully we don't have... Oh, and the orange cone comes out. Hopefully everything is okay, Brent. That's usually an indication that we either have wildlife on the course or some kind of problem along the course.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to have a bit of a delay as they're coming over and looking at the map of the course that is set up here at the start line, kind of pinpointing where the delay is occurring. We can let you know that everybody who participated in the 90 mile an hour class, they are now all in, as we are now in the 100 mile per hour class. Continuing with it, again, the orange cone has come out. It is stopped action for the moment here at the starting line. So we have a momentary delay. Again, we want to thank all of you who are either listening or watching to us here today. Of course, we're broadcasting for you on KBBN 95.3 FM and also televising it for you on News Channel Nebraska. I want to say a big thank you to our friends with NCN who are here for the second year in a row now televising this event. And we hope that no matter where you are watching it, whether you're watching it via the internet, whether you're in the comfort of your home watching it on television. We appreciate you being with us, and we hope that you're enjoying the pictures that are being provided for you today from News Channel Nebraska.
And remember, folks, that a replay of this entire broadcast will be available, so if you're watching it and you want to watch it again, don't worry. You'll be able to do so on any of the newschannelnebraska.com outlets. Just go under the NCN Sports Now tab and scroll down where it says replays and click on that, and you'll be able to watch them in their entirety.
And we are getting a little bit of information now as to why we have the delay here at the starting line. We are told that car 280 pulled off the road at station number 26 along the course. So it doesn't sound like anything severe or anything like that, which we are so thankful to hear. But the information we're getting is that car 280 is pulled off the road at station number 26. So that could be for a variety of things, and we certainly don't know exactly what the situation is there. But that certainly is what appears to be causing the delay at this moment.
And that just shows you how long this course is, because car 280 is Alan Kortmeyer and Pred Paul. That 75 Datsun that we talked about, the red and gold one, that was the 15th out of the 21 cars in the 95-mile-an-hour class, and we are already a little ways into the next class after that. So that just kind of gives you an indication of how long this course is. But it looks like the cone is back, so we're going to get back into racing action here right now. Tom and Brian Kirk in the Porsche, number 44, white. I believe they got about 20 seconds.
Again, Tom and Brian from Lincoln, Nebraska. And according to the bio that is in front of us, I think this was maybe their first experience in competing in the other road race that has been added to these festivities, and that's the loop-to-loop race, which was run back on Thursday of this week.
Car 120 is up next. Again, car number 77 not coming to the starting line in the order on the sheet that we have in front of us. So that brings car 120 up from Scott Mann at the driver's seat. This is an 02 black Corvette.
Scott Mann from Fort Wayne, Indiana. He'll watch for his lights. Those of you watching on News Channel Nebraska, you can see exactly what Scott's looking at as they provide a picture of the lights in front of Scott. You'll be able to see them as he does and watch him take off on the course in front of us.
Black car with the black wheels, black windows, and off and on the track. Car 184, Danny Sparling, is up next. This is a 1996 Crown Vic. And Brent, it's easy to say they don't make cars this big and tough anymore, do they?
No. Danny comes all the way from Virginia, Jeremy. Cedar Bluffs, Virginia is where Danny comes to us from. Bringing back his Crown Vic. This is his 11th year, second year with his son Connor, who I believe is serving as the navigator. Can't wait to see the great folks of Arnold and beautiful western Nebraska, he says. And it's great to have them back with us, making the long journey from their home state of Virginia to be with us this year.
These were used as police interceptors back in the 90s and early 2000s. Very big cars. As he'll wrap his up and get it out on the course. And there he goes, and that brings up car number 206, Tracy Klinkenbeard and Kim Klinkenbeard in a 2002 black Corvette. Black seems to be a popular color.
Well, we've had cloudy and overcast skies for the majority of our time here, but you can feel the sun trying to peek through the clouds here a little bit as we progress through this beautiful Saturday morning.
And they get a quick wipe of the windshield from the tech here at the starting line as they get ready to go out on the course. Again, moisture sort of becoming an issue as the weather changes up a little bit.
And you did say this is Tracy, right, Jeremy?
Correct.
Klinkenbeard, okay. Tracy from Odessa, Texas. In 2014, it says he was a navigator in the Loop-to-Loop and the Sork. Been a navigator several times at races in Texas as well, so he certainly is very knowledgeable and experienced when it comes to this kind of open road racing.
Here's the Sunflower Kid, car 683, Al Hollebeck and Renee Hollebeck in a 2006 Corvette.
And they're from Redwood City, California. They enjoy coming to the event each and every year. Most of all, they appreciate the commitment and dedication the people and the community of Arnold give to the racers. Always look forward to coming to see their friends and being treated like an Arnold resident. And they say, may the Sork and the community live forever.
So they'll get ready to go out on the course, and after them will be car 906, Steve Bramier in an 09 Corvette. It's gray in color. As you see there on News Channel Nebraska, the green light sends him off on the course. Another cool gray looking Corvette up next.
Steve from Lincoln, Nebraska, and another one of our rookie drivers. We had several first-timers in some of the slower mile-per-hour classes, but Steve is going to try his hand at the 100-mile-an-hour class as he competes for the first time here at Sork.
So he gets the 10-second count. Just a few seconds. Well, was that 10 or was that 20? I believe that might have been 20. Second guessing myself. Car 906, again the 10th car in the 100-mile-an-hour class. The tech speed is 140 miles an hour. That is the maximum speed that they can reach to attempt to average 100 miles an hour. Car 211 rolls up to the line. John Shuda, an 01 Corvette. It's red. He'll be the 11th car in the 100-mile-an-hour class.
John is from Downers Grove, Illinois. Glad to have him with us here this year. You know, I haven't counted it up. I'm sure somebody has, but it would be really neat to just know how many states are represented here at this Sandhills Open Road Challenge. There are several, as you can tell.
Several states and a few countries,
right,
as
yes,
far as
yep.
Where originally from as well. So definitely something to think about. It'd be cool to add that up, maybe even over the past 19 years, because there are drivers that have come and gone year in and year out. That'd be very interesting. I'd be surprised if it wasn't close to 50.
Yeah.
50. Car 211 out on the course, John Shuda. Car 290 comes to the line, another maroon Corvette. Mike Hill in the driver's seat. Julie Hill is the navigator, a 2015 Corvette.
And Mike and Julie, another couple coming to us from Texas. Of course, open road racing, I think, very popular down there. And that's where a lot of folks have heard of this race, and now they're coming up here to Nebraska to enjoy the challenge of Sork. For Mike and Julie, it is their 9th time to run the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and it's great to have them back here this year.
And up next is one of my personal favorite cars. This is car number 393, a very cool 1966 Chevy Nova. Says blue here. I would guess that's the original color. I love that they kept the original paint on this car, but underneath, Brent, it's all aftermarket. There's a lot of money put into this car to make it go down the road very, very fast.
So as Mike brings that car that Jeremy was describing to you to the start line, we can tell you that Mike's from Glidden, Iowa. And in our program, it's showing him as another one of our rookie drivers.
Yep, and Chad, I hope I'm pronouncing this right, Clocky is the navigator listed on the tech sheet. Again, their maximum speed they can go 140 miles an hour. Target speed average is 100 miles an hour. So between all those turns and straightaways, averaging 100 miles an hour is the goal as a part of this class.
Again, we want to thank all of you for joining us for our special coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. A special radio and television simulcast for you today. Broadcasting live on KBBN 95.3 FM in Brokenville, Nebraska. And also bringing you live television coverage courtesy of our friends at News Channel Nebraska.
Car 426. A 5-liter Mustang pulls up to the starting line. This is our third to last car in the 100-mile-an-hour class. Doug Jones sits in the driver's seat. To his right is Daniel Jones. This is a 2017 Mustang.
And they're from Ipswich, South Dakota. Did I say the town right?
I don't know, but I want to go there now.
Yeah.
Just based off the name, that's a cool sounding town.
So Doug and Dan, great to have you here with us as they get ready to take off and embark on the challenge that is this course. And when you talk to the drivers, Jeremy, one of the things that they said for several, what brings them back is how challenging this course can be.
Oh, there we go, a burnout. He spun the tires on purpose there at the start. I love it. Here comes a GT350 up to the line next. Sid Stewart and John Stewart in this 2011 Mustang. Very sharp looking car. I like the color scheme, kind of that darker white with the royal blue on the sides.
Sid and John are a couple of Nebraska boys. They're from McCook. Father and son team, I believe, who look forward to Sork every year. And the car that they are driving was done at Shelby America in Las Vegas. Says it's a pleasure to drive. They also want to say thanks to Lindy and Della Daly for taking such good care of them, and that kind of goes back to something we were talking about earlier in our broadcast and telecast, and that is how so many of the members and residents here of the Arnold community and surrounding communities open up their homes and basically become a host home for the drivers and navigators that participate in this event each and every year.
Car 816 is going to be the final car of the 100-mile-an-hour class. Claire Kurz is the driver, and the navigator is Mike Spencer, a 2016 Corvette.
Claire from Palmer, Nebraska. Mike is from Carroll, Iowa. Says that they look forward to this being their third year at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Also, I believe, competed in the loop-to-loop and the shootout, which was held yesterday. They, too, say thank you to all the people of Arnold and the surrounding communities for making such an exceptional weekend of racing possible.
Love the license plate, Vroom ×2. And that will bring us to the end of the 100-mile-an-hour class. 120 miles an hour is next. We take a 20-mile-an-hour leap. Again, this gets challenging because your target speed is 120, which goes up 20 miles an hour, but your tech speed only goes up to 145, just an increase of 5 miles an hour. So it gets a little bit more difficult here from here on out.
Yeah, and since we do switch mile-per-hour classes, we will go ahead and take a short break as well. You are watching and listening to live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and we will be back with more after this 1-minute timeout.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
This is an Exmark, the mowers purchased 2-to-1 by the most respected commercial cutters on the planet. Mowers that have been beautifying America for more than 3 decades, used by landscape pros who depend on Exmark's pioneering innovation for legendary durability and all-day comfort. Exmark. Engineered by us, trusted by them, ready to work for you. Visit weareexmark.com for one of our 1,500 plus dealers near you.
And we bring you back to Arnold, Nebraska. Good to have you with us for live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, getting ready to move into the 120-mile-per-hour class. And, Jeremy, we can let folks know what is still to come here today. Of course, when the race is over, later on this evening is when they will pass out the awards, and they will have a big banquet right there in the city park in Arnold, Nebraska. They'll have a delicious barbecue right before that, and then the awards presentation itself will be at around 6:30 this evening, and that is open to the public. So if you want to come on out and enjoy the evening in the city park here in Arnold, Nebraska, you can watch as the awards are passed out. And they will not only be awarding people for their efforts here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, which we're running right now, but also two other events that have become a big part now of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge festivities. That was another road race that was established a few years ago up in the Halsey and Purdom area. They run that now on Thursday. They call it the Loop to Loop, and they will be handing out awards for that race and also awards for what took place yesterday out around the Callaway area in the half-mile and mile shootout. And that was an event that I know you had the opportunity to participate in and to watch yesterday. We did not have any cars in that mile length get up to 200 miles an hour, which I think many strive for. However, there were a couple that were really, really close.
Yeah, it got very, very close. I think the closest was 198, nearly 199 was the speed that they got up to. I believe the Lamborghini that set the record a couple of years ago, I don't know if it's still out there or not, but the guy who drove it a couple years ago was driving a brand new Corvette. So I would love to talk to him to see what the deal is with the Lamborghini, but that is a speed that I can't even imagine going in a car. When I saw that Lamborghini a couple years ago go in the 220s. Simply amazing.
Of course, as we have been explaining to you, as we give you the coverage here today, each of these drivers have put themselves in a mile-per-hour class, and so their goal as they participate in this Sandhills Open Road Challenge is to average that speed in the two legs that they will run, both up toward the Dunning area and then on their return trip back to Arnold. And you think about that shootout yesterday, Jeremy, that was one of the goals for the drivers there, too, and that was in that half mile or 1 mile, whichever category they were in. Their goal was to try to equal their speed on all three of the runs that they got, and there was one person who matched his speed perfectly on each of his three runs. And to me, that is amazing, because they break it down to a tenth of a second, and for you to post the exact same speed on all three of those runs, man, that really is amazing to me.
It's simply amazing, and I talked about this yesterday on the broadcast. You're driving down the road, maybe you don't quite feel like setting your cruise control. I don't do it sometimes, but you're trying to cruise down the road, and say you're on the interstate, you're trying to go 75 miles an hour, and you think you're going the same speed, and all of a sudden you look down and you're going 80. When did it happen? You don't know. But you're going 5 miles an hour faster than you were about a mile back. They're trying to do that in a half mile or mile stretch and get it within a tenth of a mile an hour. It's amazing.
Yeah. All right, folks, they have taken away the orange cone, and we are ready to go with our first participant in the 120-mile-an-hour class.
It's car 97, AJ Meadows, and Kendra Meadows, the navigator, a 2015 Camaro, headed down the road.
And they are another couple that comes to us from Texas. AJ and Kendra from Stanton, Texas, coming up to Nebraska to participate again this year.
This is a crowd favorite here, Brent. This is a beautiful, deep purple McLaren. This is a sharp-looking car. Ted Hughes is the driver. Jared Helg is the navigator. This is a 2019 McLaren. It's brand new. I think it's safe to say there's not a scratch on it.
And, well, Ted's been here before. He's experienced on this course. He's back here once again. Ted from Seward, Nebraska, getting ready to compete here in the 120-mile-an-hour class.
Look at those wheels, Brent. There's not much to those wheels. That's got to be some strong metal on there, especially with this much power.
Oh, yeah. Putting on a show, too, to start things off.
The exhaust comes straight out of the back of that car, up above, well, right behind the back window, because the engine is sitting back there. It's a mid-engine car, and the smoke shot up in the air instead of down at the ground like all of these cars that we've seen previous, except the other McLarens, of course. Car 4, Robbie Smith and Derek Rose are the driver and navigator.
Well, Robbie's a local guy from Arnold, Nebraska, and Robbie's had a lot of success in this event that I think he's participated in every year. Of course, he did have his pickup that he ran in this event for many years and performed extremely well with it.
Was that red Lightning pickup?
Yes,
okay,
yeah,
I remember
I believe
that truck.
so. And Robbie and his cousin Derek are teaming up again here in their Corvette. Now, they placed second in the 120 class last year, and they say that they replaced the batteries in their stopwatches, and they're hoping to win this year.
Oh, there you go.
We'll see if that is the key.
How bad a luck is that to have your battery die in your stopwatch when you're in the race? My goodness. Crowd favorite up next because it's got purple flames, folks. This is the number 66 car of Ken Setness and Dan Blowers in the navigation seat. This is a 1997 Corvette. It is silver in color, and like I said, the purple flames. This is one of those cars you just remember year in and year out.
Ken Setness from Mitchell, South Dakota. Great to have him back as a part of this event again this year. By the way, we can tell you that we've been informed that everybody participating in the 95-mile-an-hour class, they are safely to the other end of the course. And for those of you listening to us on radio, we do want to remind you that our good friend David Burney, who is at the other end of this road race course, will be having more coverage of the race for you on the radio on KBBN 95.3 FM. He'll be visiting with drivers and giving you some information as they make their return trip back to the Arnold area. And we appreciate Dave and his wife Joan for keeping us informed on how things are going at that end as we get the race started here this morning.
I know Dave always enjoys talking to those racers when they get over there, and he'll just walk around with his broadcast phone and lean his head into the cars and say, hey, how was the road race? What are you looking to do on the way back? Are you ahead or behind in time? How's it going? And it's a lot of fun to listen to, so we encourage you to stay tuned this afternoon to 95.3. Car 3 up next in the 120 class. This is Robbie Smith and Derek Rose. They are still at the line, getting ready to go. 2014 Corvette. And again, extra room in between these cars because they're going to be reaching that higher tech speed. Actually, I'm sorry.
I was going to say
that was Brian Chandler and Mike
you
Winstrom. That was an 09 Corvette. I read the wrong line on my sheet here.
That's okay. Brian Chandler from Scottsbluff, Nebraska. And boy, I tell you what, these guys, they have experience in this race. They are here for the 17th time. And, you know, when you think about winning this race, and there are a lot of folks here who, they're here because they enjoy the festivities, they enjoy the people. But let me tell you, folks, these people here are competitive.
Yes.
And they want to win. And on this course, if you have a lot of experience in driving it, it can sometimes really make a difference.
Speaking of people that want to win, Ray Bernard and Jeff Bernard in the 47 car, a 73 Camaro just went out on the course.
Ray from Casper, Wyoming, back for his 13th year at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
That brings car 67, another familiar car if you've been coming to the SORC for the last few years. Dylan Gransky and Todd Gransky in a 96 Mustang.
Todd and Dylan are from Utica, Nebraska. Moving up to the 120 class was a big step. They did that 4 years ago, but with all the luck that the Mustangs have had in the past in this class, they thought it was the thing to do. And they'll be doing it again here this year as they are told to watch their lights. Again, those of you viewing on News Channel Nebraska, you can watch it with them as they get ready to take off.
Up next comes a very cool looking car. This is a 63 Ford Falcon. This is my personal favorite.
Yeah.
I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there. Jonathan Dewar and Mark Dewar in a 63 Ford Falcon. This has got a Kenny Bell supercharger on it, Brent, and you'll hear it when he takes off. It sounds gorgeous.
Jonathan and Mark are from Canby, Oregon, and they are here with their Ford Falcon, as Jeremy mentioned. And according to the bio, looks like maybe it's been a while since they've been back to Sork. For Jonathan, 5th year as a driver at Sork. Mark's 3rd year as a navigator. Years attended were 04 through 07. And, of course, you know how life can happen. And so that kind of kept them from being back here in other years. But they are back now in 2019. And we're great to have them here in Arnold.
And they're off on the course, and that brings car 187 to the starting line. Dustin Sabatka and Todd Schneider. This is a 1994 Camaro Z28.
Dustin from Valparaiso, Nebraska. Todd is from Lincoln. They're back for another Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Says the people and speed bring them back each and every August.
That's the two things you hear. Well, there's 3 things you hear. The people, the speed, and then the challenge of the course. So you know they're going fast and it's challenging. And you know a lot of those things go hand in hand, but the big thing that everyone talks about year after year is the people. And we have a lot of fun hosting this here in central Nebraska. We're just glad that it was started 19 years ago, because we wouldn't be here covering it today if it didn't start up 19 years ago. There goes car 187. Should also mention a lot of these license plates, they race in a lot of different road races, but they love the Sork so much, a lot of the time their license plates say Sork in some way, shape, or form. Car 479, the 10th car of the 120 mile per hour class. John Packett and Jeremy Bolt, a 2015 Audi R8. Now Jeremy drove in the shootout yesterday, so John's going to take the driver's seat today, and Jeremy's going to navigate. This is a 2015 Audi R8, like I said.
And they're from Omaha, Nebraska. Be year number 13 attending Sork.
These Audi R8s, Brent, have a V10 in them.
Yeah, and according to our little bio here, says the car has a roll bar enabling them to move up to the faster classes and compete in the full mile shootout, which they did yesterday.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to mention. A lot of people say, well, that car should be in a faster mile per hour class. It looks really, really fast. Well, not only does the driver have to want to go that fast, but your car has to have the safety modifications to it so that you are allowed to be in that class. That's a big part of it. They're not going to let these drivers go out on the course at high rates of speed that they won't be safe in. That's another thing to remember.
Yeah, and that's why there is a tech crew that works this starting line, and they give a thorough tech check to every car in line right before they pull up to the start line, because safety certainly is the paramount thing here at this road race.
You see it a little bit more close and up in person at the loop-to-loop race, but they open the car door, they make sure there aren't any bottles of water or anything floating around in there. They make sure the windows are up, and they clean the tires so that they can make sure you have a great start like that. Car 650, Jared Roberts and Bryce Todd, a 2015 Corvette.
Jared from Gretna, Nebraska, participating in Sork this year. Gives many thanks to everybody who helps with this event. And again, folks, you just can't imagine the amount of volunteer help that is needed to make this race go on each and every year. There have to be several people out on the course itself to keep an eye on things. Of course, there are several stations, what they call them, along the course and along the road race route. And there are many people out there that are manning those, keeping a close eye on things to make sure that we have a fun but yet safe race once again this year.
Car 911 will be the final car of the 120-mile-per-hour class, driven by Jason Walsh, and navigator Chris Rutten, a 2015 Viper. And that will be our last car again of the 120-mile-per-hour class.
Two more Nebraska guys out on the course now, Jason from Kearney and Chris from Columbus, Nebraska. They're back again to race in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Says that this race has blessed them with such great friendships that they now get to supplement throughout the year with other events to fill the long stretch between races.
Car 281 will pull to the line now. 115-mile-per-hour class. Their tech speed stays the same as the 120-mile-an-hour class, so they can go up to 145, but they are looking to average 115. Now, when you think about it, now I am hardly a math person, but
yeah, I can't help you there.
You would think that when the target speed goes down, but your tech speed stays the same, that means that you can afford to maybe take your turns a little bit more cautious and slow because your target average speed isn't as high and your tech speed is remaining the same. At least that's the way my brain puts it together. Whether that's true or not, don't take my word for it.
By the way, folks, we can let you know that everybody who participated in the 100-mile-an-hour class has made it safely to the other end, so we're thankful about that as we continue to just move right along, and it has been a very smooth race up to this point.
It has, and we mentioned it at the start of the broadcast. That's all due to the volunteers. Lots of work goes into this. During the loop-to-loop race, Larry was talking to one of the volunteers there, and he said, you know, we meet once a month, every single month, leading up to the race, year-round, and we try to get everybody together to make sure that when the race shows up, everyone knows what they're doing. Car 202, Ryan Firstenau with Rich Clements out on the course, the 2014 Viper. You saw it bright yellow in color there on News Channel Nebraska. Those of you listening on 95.3 will describe things the best we can here for you in Arnold. We go from 202 to 289. Aaron Anderson and Kendra Anderson are coming to the line in their 2017 Shelby GT350.
Yeah, two more from Lincoln, Nebraska. 13th year at Sork, the third year with this car, it seems like. They're both IT managers at different companies, so one would think that they would be good at calculating the timing aspect of this event. However, they say each year they seem to outsmart themselves with trying to solve basic math calculations for zeroing in the perfect race time. So we wish Aaron and Kendra the best as they are off and running here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Car 444, driven by RT Green. Navigator Lindy Daly. 2015 Corvette, sharp gray in color, sharp looking one. And RT Green Racing, one of the corporate sponsors of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And that just says a lot about how much RT believes in this race.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. So again, we want to thank all of you who are either watching us or listening to us today. Again, this is a special radio and television simulcast for you today. We're broadcasting live on KBBN 95.3 FM in Broken Bow, Nebraska, and also bringing you the enjoyment of television coverage courtesy of News Channel Nebraska.
And folks, if you happen to be listening on the radio and you want to give the television a glance, if you are in the Broken Bow area and you have Great Plains cable, you can go to channel 22, or you can also check your local listings for News Channel Nebraska. They are on several different outlets statewide. You can watch on Roku or Apple TV or Amazon Fire devices, and of course you can stream the coverage on newschannelnebraska.com as well. 235 is up next of Mike Smith. This is a 2013 Nissan GTR. Very, very, very fast car.
Yeah, Mike, another one of those from Texas, from Longview, Texas, participating this year. He's participated in open road events for the past 7 years, and this will be his second run at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Kind of eased into things there for the first 20 feet or so, and then really stepped into it. And he cruises down the course now. Car 402 up next, driven by Eric Moore. Christine Moore is in the navigation seat. This is a 1990 Corvette. It's red in color.
Eric is from Grimes, Iowa. Christine from Lake City, Colorado. Love the adrenaline rush of racing down the roads for the loop-to-loop and the mile shootout. And, of course, here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Looks like Eric and Christine are a father-daughter team. Says that they enjoy the father-daughter weekend and have a blast from the moment that they arrive.
They give a nod to the official at the starting line. And they're off and on the course. That brings forward a slick-looking 2011 Challenger, all black. Black on black on black. Gary Bates, the driver. Chase Bates is the navigator.
From Blair and Omaha, respectively.
And we talked about the weather, but it is absolutely beautiful out today.
Yes, it is, and I think that certainly I know the spectators appreciate this, but I think the drivers do too. The cloud cover that we have enjoyed here this morning, I mean, yeah, who doesn't love sunny, clear skies? But when this event starts, if the skies are wide open, that sun can really heat things up fast. But this cloud cover has provided just a beautiful start and a comfortable temperature to this race today.
And of course, folks, you know, here in Nebraska, it can only be so cool with that humidity around, and sitting across from a cornfield that's plenty warm with dew from this morning. Don't get us wrong, it's plenty warm out here in Arnold today, but definitely the cloud cover helps a lot.
Yeah, and you can, the sun is peeking through, so it's already starting to warm up here a little bit, but so far, just been a beautiful day for this race.
Now, we talked about Mark Capener earlier. He's in car 811, a 2019 Corvette. Mark is the one who drove the Lamborghini, the 2004 Lamborghini, a couple years ago and set the record in the mile shootout. Not driving the Lamborghini this year. He's got a brand new Corvette. I don't know if that means the Lamborghini is still around or not, but hey, I don't blame him for driving this blue Corvette.
Yeah, Mark coming to us from Idaho. Idaho Falls, Idaho is where Mark is from. And he's off and going in the opening leg for him of this Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
That car still had the dealer plates on it, Brent.
Wow.
Car number 89 comes up to the course start line now. So that brings us to the beginning of the 110 mile per hour class. Again, the target 110. Tech speed tops out at 145 miles an hour. So again, the target speed goes down. The tech speed goes the same. This is Chad Riley in car 89, a 2008 Corvette.
Chad from Papillion, Nebraska, back here for another year. Again, thanks to the volunteers and the landowners that make this happen.
And the landowners along the course, their approval is necessary as well. Absolutely. To have the race go past their house, because this road's got to be closed for a few hours so that this race can take place. So it takes a lot of planning a year in advance each year to get ready to have this road closed, and that's certainly due to the landowners as well. Car number 11 up next, Eric Schmidt and Chris Garner, an 89 Corvette.
Eric knows how to tackle this course. Here for his 18th year of racing in Arnold, Eric Schmidt from Lincoln, Nebraska. And Eric once again ready to conquer the challenges that await him here at this Sork road race.
And thank you very much to the Sork Committee for helping bring this broadcast to your television screens and computer screens all across Nebraska. Here comes number 1. Respect his authority, Joe Schoen. Robert Mann, the navigator, in the number 1 car, 2011 Corvette.
Well, here's a lifer, and that's Joe. This is a guy that was so instrumental, really, in making this race happen many years ago. Joe from Stapleton, Nebraska, and he is here once again. Of course, he's been in all of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge events, and he is ready to embark once again here in 2019.
Got the nice looking, it's almost like an aqua blue with the chrome wheels. Car number 20 right behind him, Tommy Dale Vines, making plenty of noise. A lot of power under that hood. And off goes Joe. So here's Tommy Dale Vines. Marcia Graves is the navigator. The 2007 black Corvette.
Both from South Dakota. Tommy from Eagle Butte, South Dakota. Says he's always counting down the days until the next Sork race. Can't come soon enough. And it's great to have him back here for another year. You know, we talk about thinking about next year's race. That's something that happens right when the current race is over.
Yes, I mean, almost immediately.
You know, even though it's been 19 years, folks, and yes, I know that the organizers will probably tell you that it has become much easier to organize 19 years now as opposed to the very first one that was done. But there is still a lot. There he goes. We sent Tommy out on the course. There is still a lot of planning, Jeremy, that has to go into this event to make it go off each and every year. And that's planning that starts really the minute the current race is over.
Up next, we've got the Volkswagen collector, Zeke Peterson. Ryan Conover is his navigator. This is an 02 Volkswagen Beetle. Ran a different Volkswagen in the shootout races yesterday. And in the loop-to-loop, he drove this car as well. So he's a Volkswagen collector, and he's got lots of Volkswagens for different things as well.
Yeah, 12th year running here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge from Brule, Nebraska, out around the Ogallala area here in the Cornhusker State. Happy to be back and be a part once again of Sork.
Just a few seconds away.
Well, again, we remind you that this is a special radio and television simulcast we have going on for you today. On the radio, you can hear us at KBBN 95.3 FM, Broken Bow, Nebraska. Also televising it for you today, thanks to our friends at News Channel Nebraska, who are back here for the second consecutive year.
Car number 98 up next. This is a chalk-colored 2018 Porsche GT3, driven by Matt Dinsdale and navigated by Phil McDonnell.
Matt from Omaha, Nebraska. Been a pleasure being a part of Sork as a sponsor as well since its inception. Of course, the Dinsdale name, well known when it comes to automotives. Having an event such as this is in a town where Pinnacle Bank has had a presence for a long time makes it even more special.
That was
very
good. Cool. He's got a stall on that car so that he can rev his engine up, and then he releases the brake, and it gets him down the course very fast. And He didn't lead anyone to believe that he was going to make that much noise until he did it.
That caught everybody off guard a little bit.
Terry Pollard up next, driving his Corvette. Gary Halstead is the navigator. This is a 2013.
Yeah, Terry from Wichita, Kansas. Of course, Gary from right here in Arnold, Nebraska. For Terry, 5th year to race both the Loop-to-Loop and the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Ever since he started here a few years ago, always been impressed by the Arnold residents and the volunteers working the race. And he is off and running once again this year.
A lot of people will do just that. They'll maybe start out with one of the races and then slowly work themselves into participating all 3 days. Some people just go all in and they'll do all 3 races to begin with, but the one thing that new racers know is that if there's a road race to start with, it's going to be this one, because all of the drivers are so helpful in helping new drivers learn the ropes about the courses. Car 88 is up next. This is DJ Manis and Shane Landis. 89 Mustang.
Once again, folks, if you're listening to us on the radio on KBBN, we want to remind you that our coverage on the radio will continue when we're done here with the start of things, as our David J. Burney will be anchoring our coverage for the driver's return trip during this Sandhills Open Road Challenge. So if you would like to continue with Sork Racing coverage, you can continue to listen to KBBN 95.3 FM, also on the web at kbbn.com.
Again, we are 9 cars into the 110 mile per hour class.
And speaking of our friend Dave, he has informed us that everybody in the 120 mile an hour class has safely made it to the other end now.
And that class, again, is the class that is going to be, at least to this point so far, and I believe for the entire race, is going to be trying to average the highest speed. So great to hear that they all made it to the end, or the midway point, safely. Jerry Cox up next in car 125, an 08 Viper, and he either likes Texas or he's from Texas. Brent, he's got a Texas flag on his spoiler.
Well, he would be from Texas. San Angelo, Texas is where Jerry comes to us from. Lives in Texas but still works in the Midland area. Owns a consultant and engineering company doing work in oil fields in West Texas and New Mexico. Hobbies include car shows, hunting, and road racing.
Chad Christensen is up next in car 529. Aaron Wells is the navigator, a 2011 Corvette. Cool looking blue color, almost gray. Nice looking Z06 as he awaits his cue, just 10 seconds away from being able to head out on the course. Off he goes. That brings up car number 174. This is a 2012 Subaru hatchback. Bill Morton and Kerry Morton. And they've been doing lots of racing together in this Subaru, and I believe it all started out with some rally races.
Yeah, that's right. William from Waukee, Iowa. So a couple of Iowa folks here with us in Nebraska this year. Bill is an IT professional at Des Moines University. One of his passions is racing cars. That kind of got him started in road racing when he joined the Iowa Subaru Club, and was introduced to the world of SCCA autocross. After 2 years of participating in autocross events, he was sure that this was a hobby that he wanted to grow and continue in, and so they bring their vehicle to the Sandhills Open Road Challenge here in 2019.
Very nice looking Subaru off on the track. And that brings up car 186. I have that it should be 176, but either way, This is an 06 Subaru, Ward Heinrich. Subaru is very popular in everyday use as well because they're four-wheel drive and they get around really well, and also because they're 4 doors. But of course there's that turbo power as well, and that makes them popular for racing too.
Ward is from San Antonio, Texas, and as we look at our informational book here in front of us, Ward has done a lot of neat things. Of course, road racing, short track asphalt racing, but they have a picture in our book here of Ward having his car out on the ice doing ice racing as well.
Going out on the ice willingly to race. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a cool picture in the book. It looks fascinating.
No better car to do it in than a Subaru. 4-wheel drive, probably put some ice tires on it and cruise around, slip around a little bit.
I don't know, maybe we could have a race here in December.
Oh, man. Did something new just get invented?
Yeah.
Well, certainly the last few winters here in central Nebraska have provided enough snow and ice to be able to have an event like that, isn't that right?
Unfortunately. Well, a momentary delay as we wait for the next car to take off on the route, and it looks like they're just about ready to send him off.
Yeah, about 10 seconds away. Get the Subaru fired up and headed down the course. And there he goes. That brings up car number 207. John Lucan and Derek Lucan, 2010 Corvette.
John from Elkhorn, Nebraska. Derek is from Omaha. John says this is the first year with his son Derek navigating for him. So great to have the father-son team with us here as they are just about ready to embark on the opening leg of the course.
Both hands on the wheel as John gets ready to go. Definitely the suggested way to drive. I know they tell you in driver's ed, 10 and 2, 10 and 2. I will be the first to admit that I don't always drive down the road with my hands at 10 and 2. Hopefully the DMV doesn't come after me for that. But it's highly suggested when you're going over 110 miles an hour to drive the proper way. Car 70 up next, Chris Stockman and Colin Velupek, a 2016 Viper. Very nice looking car. These Vipers, it takes a lot to fit a V10 engine in under a hood, and they just have the slick look that lets you know there's a big engine in there.
Again, we want to continue to thank our wonderful sponsors who are bringing you this coverage on the radio on KBBN 95.3 FM in Broken Bow, Nebraska. Also, big thank you to the Sandhills Open Road Challenge Committee, who has made it possible for us to bring you the special television coverage as well on News Channel Nebraska.
Car 234 rolls to the starting line, the 15th car of the 110 mile per hour class, a very popular class. Car 234 is driven by Brian Maslonka. 1999 Corvette, maroon in color.
Brian, another one of our participants from Lincoln, Nebraska. After hearing how much fun the Sandhills Open Road Race was from a friend that had participated, he couldn't wait any longer to sign up, so he's back here again as Brian from Lincoln gets ready to embark on the course, but it looks like he may have to wait for just a moment. We see a couple of the organizers here at the start line going over to the map area, talking on their radio, so we might be having a delay as it looks like maybe something has happened out on the course in front of us, but they're going to send it off, so maybe they're looking at something else. Brian Maslonka of Lincoln, Nebraska, off and running.
A little bit of communication going on here between them two. They were pinpointing a point on the map, we'll see. Still talking on the radios, but car 304 has pulled up to the starting line. Jack Martin and Scott Patton. 96 Camaro rumbling right in front of us. I like this body style of the Camaro. So many generations of the Camaro over the years. But this is a really sleek looking one. I like it a lot.
And a couple of notes here for you now. First off, the 115 mile an hour class, everybody participating there is in, so they have all finished. We are being told now that car 94 pulled off the road. So that is what is causing a bit of a delay for us right now. Car 94 having to pull off the road. Again, that could be something mechanical or something like that. Doesn't sound like anything serious, which is good. Of course, we had a car having to pull off the road earlier in the race today, and now it appears as though car 94 has had to pull off as well.
So the cone is out, and the engine in front of us has turned off. So that'll mean we'll have a little bit of a time here before the next car goes out, so they can figure out what the situation is with car number 94.
Yeah, and again, all we can tell you at this point is it has pulled off the road. If more detailed information becomes available, we'll certainly pass that along to you. But, we're here at the start. All we can do is just kind of receive information that comes our way from the people who are out on the course monitoring things. And if information regarding this situation comes our way, we will certainly pass that along to you. But for now, it appears as though we will have a delay in the race. Not sure how long that delay will last, but we will continue to keep you updated. Since we have a momentary delay in the race, we will give you the opportunity to listen to and to see some of the fine sponsors who are bringing you coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And we will continue with more from here in Arnold, Nebraska after this 2-minute timeout.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
Take our audience through your educational path. How did you get to where you are now?
Right, elementary school through high school, I started looking into computers. So I started studying at the University of Nebraska, the Omaha branch, and I am actually graduating in December. So very much looking forward to make a difference in people's lives.
So I've always been hands-on, always learning from my dad, my family, and stuff like that, building and stuff. As a machinist, I build their product. I go from nothing to something and see if everything can assemble together.
Skills pay the bills.
Wacker Home Improvement has been serving Northeast Nebraska for over 40 years with some of the best home improvement products on the market. We can custom fit a full line of new or replacement windows and doors for your home, or enhance the beauty and efficiency with numerous types of siding and stone accents. We also offer residential roofing, gutters, insulation, decks, and fencing options to give you the home you deserve. Call us today at Wacker Home Improvement, and remember, we're here to do business with you.
And again, we bring you back to Arnold, Nebraska, continuing live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge here in 2019. We have a momentary delay in the race. Car 94 had to pull off of the course. And here are a couple of notes that have been sent our way. Again, we say thanks to our good friend David J. Burney, who is monitoring things on the other end. And Dave has the opportunity to listen to the radio traffic and kind of listen to what is going on. These are the notes that we can give you to this point. Car 94 completely off the road. The car was smoking. That brought out the red flag. So now emergency vehicles have been called on site to just make sure that there's not a fire or anything like that. So the emergency vehicles have been called out, and they are checking car 94 at this time. Again, that's really all the information we're going to give you. We're not going to sit here and speculate or anything, but the notes that we are receiving is that car 94 had to pull completely off the road, was smoking. That brought out the red flag, and now emergency vehicles are on site to make sure that there's not a fire, make sure that everybody is okay, and then they will make the determination, obviously, Jeremy, as to when we will be able to resume things here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
And car number 94 is Zeke Peterson and Ryan Conover. They were in that black 2002 Volkswagen Beetle. You remember we talked about them when they took off at the starting line. Zeke collects those Volkswagen Beetles, and that was that slick-looking black one that took off, one that is highly recognized here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. It's here year after year, so we'll continue to keep you updated to see what the situation is with car number 94, and hopefully it's nothing too severe.
Yeah, it is going to delay us, though, as a lot of the cars now are kind of pulling off to the side. A lot of them have shut their vehicles down as we wait for the situation to be taken care of out on the course. It will give us an opportunity to again thank the sponsors who are bringing you this special coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Race today. Of course, this is a special radio and television simulcast, and we want to say thanks to our radio sponsors who are bringing you coverage on KBBN 95.3 FM, the Thunderbird, also on the web at kbbn.com, and those sponsors include A1 Auto Repair, Reed's Food Center, both in Arnold, also State Farm Insurance, Donna Cahill, your local representative, Govier Brothers Mortuary, the Nebraska State Bank of Broken Bow, Callaway, and Myrna, also Mills Hardware and Feed of Arnold, Trotter Service in Broken Bow, Winquist Auto in Broken Bow, Grazer's Bar and Grill in Arnold. Also brought to you by Agribest Feeds of Callaway, LB Custom Chrome and Detail of Broken Bow, and Shotgun Annie Saloon and Grill in Callaway. My name is Brent Apperson, along with Jeremy Scheip. A pleasure for us to be with you here at the starting line today, Jeremy. And up to this point, we had had such a smooth run to the race, but now a momentary delay as they work with a car that was forced to pull off the road. We were told that the car was smoking. That brought out the red flag. They have called in emergency vehicles to check out the situation to make sure the car's not on fire or anything like that. So everybody has been called out to check out the situation, and then when all of that has been cleared up, we'll get back to racing today.
Yeah, and we'll keep things pretty fluid here. Because of a car going off of the track, sometimes that affects the cars coming in behind them, because obviously they don't want to go racing by somebody who just went off of the road, possibly having engine or car problems, and that in turn will affect their time. So sometimes what they've done in the past is if it does affect their time, or the driver feels that it has affected their time, they will bring them back to the starting line, and they'll get a new run at the course. So we could possibly see some of those reruns as well.
Yeah, so we're just kind of in a holding pattern at this moment. So with that said, we're going to take another timeout. Again, we want to say thank you to all of the businesses and the sponsors who are bringing you this special coverage today. We will step away for a moment, and then we will be back to Arnold, Nebraska to update you on the situation as we continue with our coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Race after this 3-minute timeout.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout Contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
If you're looking for excellent physical therapy or a great place to work out, Husker Rehab in Beatrice is the place to start. At Husker Rehab, they enjoy a friendly, relaxed atmosphere, and they'll help you reach your goals.
At Husker Rehab, we take pain personally, and we're always looking for the best solutions to help you out and have proven results. Hi, this is Ryan Wade, a physical therapist at Husker Rehab in Beatrice. If you have a referral for physical therapy or are looking to get into better shape, we'd love to help you out.
That's Husker Rehab with 2 locations in Lincoln, 1 in Beatrice, and 1 in Fairbury. Call today for more information or learn more at huskerrehab.com.
What does farming mean to you? For most, it's hard work, dedication, and livelihood. Unfortunately, that also comes with risk. At Nebraska Crop Insurance in Beatrice, they know the non-stop dedication involved to keep your family protected from that risk and ensure their livelihood. Not only do they know everything about the coverage you need, they're also farmers themselves. So protect what means the most to you with the agent who knows what it means to be a farmer. Nebraska Crop Insurance, 615 Dorsey Street in Beatrice.
When choosing your primary care provider, look for a partner in your health at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine. We'll be there to listen to you, collaborate with you, and support you in both uncertain times and life's greatest moments. Together, we can build healthy lifestyles, healthy families, and healthy communities. Visit frpsclinics.org to meet our primary care providers and find the right care for you at Faith Regional Physician Services.
Have you ever wondered what's behind the doors of Valley Vet Fashion Direct in Marysville? See, this isn't just a vet supply store. They carry a large selection of all kinds of boots, work, fashion, or casual, for all ages. Make sure you check out the sales selection to steal a deal. Perfect your look with a variety of jeans, shirts, and accessories. And if you can't find your size in the store, chances are they have it in their huge warehouse. Valley Vet Fashion Direct on Highway 36 in Marysville. Open 7 days a week.
Safety, reliability, and the most propane storage in the region. Solutions and service you can count on with Farmer's Pride, the trusted supplier of propane for over 50 years. With scheduled delivery and budget and prepay plans, Farmer's Pride has the right solution to fit your propane needs. Farmer's Pride offers residential, agricultural, and commercial propane sales and service across the Siouxland area. Farmer's Pride, in the field, on your farm, in your community.
And once again, we bring you back to Arnold, Nebraska. Live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And we are currently in a delay. One of the cars that had went out on the course was forced to pull off, and they are working on that situation as we speak to you. Last report that we had was that the car was smoking, had to pull off the road. They've called out emergency vehicles to check on the situation. And as we watch things here at the start line, Jeremy, something that you made mention was that this could cause some cars to have to come back now to the starting line and restart their run, and I think that we have one vehicle coming back here to do just that.
Yeah, this is the 234 car. This was the last car that was sent out in this 110 mile per hour class, the 15th car to be exact, and he's come back and he's turning around. Looks like he's going to get a new run at it, so he'll have a chance to maybe get another run at it and maybe get a better start than he did the first time. So hopefully car number 94 is doing okay. We'll hopefully get some more details on that.
Yeah, it kind of, again, David J. Burney, who works with us on the radio side of things with KBBN, he is there at the other end of our course, and he is able to monitor radio traffic and kind of keep us informed as to what is going on. And it seems as though what is going to happen now is that they're trying to restage cars for a restart, which is what we're seeing now. So I have a feeling that things out on the course now are getting taken care of, Jeremy, and so now the delay will just be getting vehicles who had started their run but had to come to a stop or whatever, bringing them back to the starting line so that they can restart their run and get going once again.
I'm going to do something now, and I'm going to talk in the future. If you are watching a replay of this online right now, this would be the time where maybe you skip forward a little bit so that you can see when the racing starts back up. If you're watching the replay you have that convenience.
Yes.
Again, which you can do by going to newschannelnebraska.com. Under the NCN Sports Now tab, click on replays. A full replay start to finish will be posted there that you can check out. And this would be the part where, I mean, unless you like to listen to us talking about cars driving in reverse at 10 miles an hour, then stick around. But otherwise, you can fast forward to where we'll get going again here in this 110 mile per hour class.
Yeah, and that is where we are currently at, as we are running off the cars who have put themselves in the 110 mile an hour class. And if you're just joining us and you're not real familiar with the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, every car is put into a certain mile per hour class, and then their goal, Jeremy, as far as winning this event, is to try to average as close to that speed that they are entered in as possible. It's certainly a challenging thing to do, especially on the course that they are driving on today, but that is the goal of each and every driver, and whoever is able to stay closest to that average ends up winning this Sandhills Open Road Challenge in their respective class.
Yeah, and back comes car number 70. That was the second to last car that went out on the course. Chris Stockman and Colin Vilupek in that 2016 Viper. They're turning around right here in front of us right now, and then they'll back up and get back in line. So it'll be interesting to see how many of these cars need to come back, because car number 94 was the 5th car of this 110 mile per hour class, and we are seeing car 70, the 14th car in the class, being turned around right here in front of us right now. So if every car in between was affected, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cars yet to come back to line back up. Now, whether or not their times were affected, all of their times were affected or not, we're not completely sure at this point. But we'll see how many cars come back and for how long car number 94 was gone, and we were all the way down to car number 15 and 16. You would think car number 94 was pretty far along on the track. So that's just unfortunate for Zeke Peterson and Ryan Conover in that VW Beetle to have to pull over with car problems.
All right, we started the day in the 80 mile an hour class, and if you're just tuning in, we can let you know that everybody in the 80 mile an hour and the 90 extreme class, they have finished their opening leg. All the 90 mile an hour class runs are in. The 95 class is finished, as has the 100, the 120, and the 115. So we are currently running off the 110 mile an hour class. Again, we had one of the vehicles in that class have to pull off the road, and that has caused a delay for us here at the start line. So as they continue to try to restage cars for a restart, we will take another timeout. We'll continue to keep you updated as things develop here in Arnold, Nebraska. We'll be back with more coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge after this 3-minute timeout.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
There's nothing News Channel Nebraska loves more than to tell the unique stories of small-town Nebraska, highlighting stories of their successes and sharing the pride they feel, putting the spotlight on their community to show all of Nebraska that their small town matters. Tune in to News Channel Nebraska to catch the latest Small Towns Matter story, brought to you by United Healthcare.
Aurora Cooperative is bringing your Nebraska corn full circle by using the bushels grown locally to create E-Power E15 blended gasoline. Safe to use in almost all vehicles, E15 not only provides a more affordable option at the pump, it provides you with a higher octane. Want to find out more about the benefits of E-Power E15 or where you can fill up? Log on to auroracoop.com. Your corn, from field to fuel, is growing our workforce and economy and makes us tougher together. Aurora and you.
Here at J-Tech, we almost take our jobs too seriously. Kids! Morning, Solar! Windows, your glass is smudged. Gutter! You're all dirty, buddy.
There's my little exterior experts.
Roof is leaking. It's your turn.
Jefferson Community Health and Life provides high-quality health and wellness services to Jefferson County and beyond. Our commitment to you is to provide exceptional family care to inspire a lifetime of health. We now offer family medicine services at 2 convenient locations in Fairbury and Plymouth to keep your family healthy for life. We are proud to welcome Dr. Brett Wergen, a native Nebraskan, to our team of 7 family medicine providers who all focus on developing long-term positive relationships with patients. Jefferson Community Health and Life.
At Norfolk Auto Center, they work hard to give their customers the best value around. Plus, they offer a 5-day money-back on any vehicle priced over $5,000 and a 30-day exchange period on any pre-owned vehicle over $5,000, so you can buy with confidence. Call or stop in today. They are conveniently located at 1123 South 20th Street in Norfolk, or shop them online at norfolkchevy.com.
And again, we bring you back to Arnold, Nebraska as we continue our coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Again, we are currently in a delay. Unfortunately, one of the vehicles involved in our race competition today was forced to pull off of the road, and so because of that, they are kind of resetting things now. Now, there were several cars that were way out on the track when this occurred, and so we are being told now that for some of them, they will just be reset on the track. So some of them will not be coming all the way back to the start line. So it appears as though they are working now on resetting some of the cars that are out on the track, resetting them and getting their runs going again. And then there will be some that come all the way back to the start line, as we have seen. But it appears as though they will be resetting some of them out on the track, Jeremy, to resume their run.
And now we've got car, let's see, 186. I believe this was the one that had a different number on the, yeah, it was 176 on the grid, but it's 186 on the car. So we are back to that car. So I'm thinking that we're going to see all the way back to car number 94, which was the car that had the technical issues, come back. So we've got, I believe, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars, 6 cars yet to see come back here to the starting line so that they can get a fresh start at this track. Again, the car, if you are just joining us, that is having the technical issues is the car of Zeke Peterson and Ryan Conover, the 94 number 02 Volkswagen Beetle, the black Beetle that has been to this race several years in a row.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't, we had received a message that I think they might be resetting some of the starts out on the track itself. So we may not see everybody come back and restart here at the starting line. In fact, it may be car 186 that we are going to start with as far as his restart here at the starting line is concerned. But we'll just continue to monitor things as information becomes available to us. The bottom line is it does appear as though they have been able to figure things out and start to clean up things on the course itself as they try to reset some cars and then obviously send some cars back who will restart completely here at the starting line where we are located.
And radio communication comes really into play here. I overheard during our last commercial break they were on the radio talking to each of the different stations to make sure that they had pulled their red flags because if they start up these new runs and a driver sees a red flag, if that had been forgotten to be taken out, that driver is going to stop because that's an indication of danger. Don't want to have them stop unless they actually need to stop. So all of those red flags have been pulled, at least that's what I heard on the radios during our last commercial break.
Of course, later on this evening, there will be more activities, kind of the culmination of everything, and that will be the awards presentation for not just this, the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, but a couple of other events that have become really big with Sork here in this area, and that is another road race that they started a few years ago called the Loop-to-Loop race, which happens on Thursday and happened earlier this week up in the Halsey and Purdom area. They will be handing out awards for that race and also the half-mile and 1 mile shootout that took place on Friday, yesterday. So all of the awards for this race and then the other two activities associated with the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, all of that will be presented at the City Park, beautiful little park here in Arnold, Nebraska. And the awards presentation is set for around 6:30 tonight. Again, that is open to the public, so if you would like to come out for that and watch the awards presented, you are certainly encouraged to do so. And then there will be kind of an unwinding time, the wind-down time from the entire event, and that will be a free street dance and beer garden, which will be at 9 o'clock tonight here in Arnold, Nebraska. So a lot of things coming up yet today as we start to wind down things. Of course, obviously what everybody's working on right now, Jeremy, is just getting this race restarted, getting everybody back to where they need to be. Some of the drivers, again, coming all the way back to the start line to get a fresh go at their opening leg of this race. We were told maybe a few cars will even be reset out on the track itself, so they're just trying to organize all of that right now. And again, as you mentioned, communication is paramount, making sure that you are ready to go at every single station. Every car is where they need to be, because not only is safety an issue, but fairness is an issue too. They want to make sure that every single driver in this competition is treated fairly during this situation and can have their time and run figured out correctly.
Yeah, and right now we've seen all the way back to car 529 come back here to the original starting spot, and they've actually started two different lines of cars because there are so many cars that are lined up for the upcoming classes behind that they're making two lines of cars so that they can get all of these previous runs that had started over in the correct way. So they're going through some other checks and waiting for these cars to come back. And this is just a good indication of how much room is in between these cars and how much road they are covering. It's taken a while for each of these cars to come back to get here to the starting line.
So we just continue to wait until things are restarted here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. We appreciate you folks hanging with us. We also welcome all of you who are listening to us on the radio at KBBN 95.3 FM in Broken Bow, Nebraska, and also watching to our special broadcast of this on News Channel Nebraska. Gives us an opportunity to once again thank the wonderful businesses and people who are making this broadcast and telecast possible for you today. On the radio, we want to say thanks again to A1 Auto Repair and Reed's Food Center in Arnold, State Farm Insurance, Donna Cahill, your local representative, Govier Brothers Mortuary of Broken Bow, Arnold, and Mullen, also the Nebraska State Bank with branches in Broken Bow, Callaway, and Myrna, Mills Hardware and Feed of Arnold, Trotter Service in Broken Bow, Wenquist Auto Broken Bow, Grazer's Bar and Grill in Arnold, Agribest Feeds of Callaway, LB Custom Chrome and Detail of Broken Bow, and Shotgun Annie Saloon and Grill in Callaway. Big thanks to all of those people who are making coverage possible on the radio. And then a big thank you to the Sandhills Open Road Challenge Committee, who is making it possible for this to be telecast. Again, as we've been mentioning, Jeremy, folks come from so many miles away, so many states to come and participate in this event. And I'm sure that they have family and friends who are probably watching their run here today, and we want to welcome all of you in, and we appreciate you tuning in, whether it's by radio or by television, over the internet. We say welcome, and again, we hope to get things restarted here momentarily, but again, two things paramount here. Number one, safety. That's always the primary thing, but then again, fairness to the drivers. When you have a delay of this situation, you have to stop things. When cars are out on the course, you want to make sure you're fair to everybody and give them the opportunity to make sure that they have a run that is figured in correctly to this race.
And if there is another car coming back, it's a ways away. Everyone is kind of just looking down the road waiting for the next car to come back. Lots of radio communication going on right now, like we said before. But right now it's just about getting everything reset. it sounds like at this point it was just some engine problems with car number 94. Haven't heard anything further on that besides that to this point. But it seems like at least here at the starting line that things have moved more towards a restart situation rather than a car recovery situation.
Yeah.
And that usually means that it's not a good situation, but a better situation than a terrible one.
Right. And again, we apologize for the delay, but again, you want to make sure that everybody is safe first and foremost, and then again, the fairness to the drivers. So we are still in a delay, and we will continue to keep you updated. So really all we can do now is just keep taking some breaks, and once we are ready to go with the restart of the race, we will certainly bring the pictures and the action to you, whether it be on television or radio, whichever way you are joining us here today. So with that said, we'll take another break. We'll be back with more from here in Arnold after this 3-minute timeout.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
Determination, hard work, patience, and persistence. These are characteristics that make a champion. These same characteristics make a great Nebraskan.
Midwest Bank proudly supports and congratulates the athletes that have accomplished the honor to compete in the state track meet.
We are also there for the Nebraskans that have fought the flood, cleaned up after the devastation, and answered the call when others were in need.
Communities coming together.
Athletes giving it all.
That is Nebraska strong.
You can always bank on Nebraskans.
With the challenges our nation faces as the consumption of gasoline increases, the strategic location of Husker Ag allows this ethanol plant to produce nearly 80 million gallons a year, which requires almost 30 bushels of corn a year. Access to rail distribution and centered in a productive growing area east of Plainview on Highway 20, Husker Ag creates jobs, has on-farm pickup of corn, and supports area schools and organizations. Husker Ag LLC, helping communities grow and proud to be part of Nebraska's production of ethanol.
At Shop Easy, we like to make all ages smile. From farmers to truckers to Shop Easy future customers. We make sure we have a large selection of food, snacks, beverages, and incidentals to make your break in your day convenient and courteous. With easy parking 24/7. We can accommodate the night shift, the early morning workers, fishermen, and travelers. Shop Easy, south of Yankton, is owned and operated by the Santee Sioux Nation.
Columbus Motor Company is the first car dealer to bring the best price philosophy to Columbus. They've always believed that when buying a new vehicle, the customer shopping experience should come first. No hype, no gimmicks, just consistent quality service every time you shop. And don't forget, Columbus Motor Company is the only dealership that offers a 5-day, 30-day policy. Stop by during their summer clearance event or start shopping now at columbusmotorcompanyne.com. Columbus Motor Company. One low price, plain and simple, always.
We work every day to make your lives easier. I'm Jeremiah with Diode Technologies of Diller.
Smart home automation allows digital devices that you use every day, like TVs, audio equipment, lights, security panels, and thermostats, to work together with easy-to-use devices like a remote control, tablet, or even your smartphone. With smart home automation, your whole home becomes more comfortable, convenient, and easier to control.
To learn more about how Diode Technologies can customize your smart home for your family, give me a call today. I'm Jeremiah with Diode Technologies of Diller, your local technology solutions company.
And once again, we bring you back to Arnold, Nebraska, live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge event. My name is Brent Apperson, along with Jeremy Shipe, with KCNI KBBN Radio, and also a pleasure for us to join you on News Channel Nebraska as well. Again, we apologize, folks, for the delay, but we unfortunately had one of the vehicles involved in the race today forced to pull off the road, and that has caused a delay, as they have now, Jeremy, really just tried to focus in on clearing the entire track, making sure the road is clear. It certainly appears as though, it was the car going off the road sounds as though it was a mechanical issue, so it sounds like everybody's okay. not like it was a wreck or anything, so we're certainly thankful for that. But now it's just a case of trying to get everybody back to where they need to be. Again, we've been talking about it, fairness to the competitors to make sure that they are able to put together a legitimate run here in the opening leg of this course. And now it just kind of sounds like it is making sure that the entire road is clear, and hopefully we'll be getting restarted here fairly shortly.
And what I heard here last coming through the radios is that a citizen that either lives along the course or lives in the area had driven onto the course and was going down the road. So they are now working to get that vehicle off of the road. Again, folks, this road is closed for the race, and do not drive on this road because there are cars going at extreme speeds down this road. It is very dangerous for you to be on the road, and they were trying to get him off of the course so that they can get this road race started up again. And I think it would be a little bit shocking to maybe get on this stretch of road and then about every couple miles or so you see an ambulance or a crew sitting along the side of the road. It probably didn't feel right once they started going down the road, but it sounds like they were able to flag him down and tell him to get off of the road.
So that is where we set at this moment. We will continue to keep you updated with the situation, and certainly when we resume racing, we'll bring that action to you, whether you're listening on the radio or whether you're watching us on News Channel Nebraska. We will take another time out. We'll continue. You're listening to live coverage of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and we're back after this 3-minute break.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
This is an Exmark, the mowers purchased 2-to-1 by the most respected commercial cutters on the planet. Mowers that have been beautifying America for more than 3 decades, used by landscape pros who depend on Exmark's pioneering innovation for legendary durability and all-day comfort. Exmark, engineered by us, trusted by them, ready to work for you. Visit weareexmark.com for one of our 1,500-plus dealers near you.
Wacker Home Improvement has been serving Northeast Nebraska for over 40 years with some of the best home improvement products on the market. We can custom fit a full line of new or replacement windows and doors for your home, or enhance the beauty and efficiency with numerous types of siding and stone accents. We also offer residential roofing, gutters, insulation, decks, and fencing options to give you the home you deserve. Call us today at Wacker Home Improvement, and remember, we're here to do business with you.
If you're looking for excellent physical therapy or a great place to work out, Husker Rehab in Beatrice is the place to start. At Husker Rehab, they enjoy a friendly, relaxed atmosphere, and they'll help you reach your goals.
At Husker Rehab, we take pain personally, and we're always looking for the best solutions to help you out and have proven results. Hi, this is Ryan Wade, the physical therapist at Husker Rehab in Beatrice. If you have a referral for physical therapy or are looking to get into better shape, we'd love to help you out.
That's Husker Rehab with 2 locations in Lincoln, 1 in Beatrice, and 1 in Fairbury. Call today for more information or learn more at huskerrehab.com.
What does farming mean to you? For most, it's hard work, dedication, and livelihood. Unfortunately, that also comes with risk. At Nebraska Crop Insurance in Beatrice, they know the non-stop dedication involved to keep your family protected from that risk and ensure their livelihood. Not only do they know everything about the coverage you need, they're also farmers themselves. So protect what means the most to you with the agent who knows what it means to be a farmer. Nebraska Crop Insurance, 615 Dorsey Street in Beatrice.
When choosing your primary care provider, look for a partner in your health at Faith Regional Physician Services Family Medicine. We'll be there to listen to you, collaborate with you, and support you in both uncertain times and life's greatest moments. Together, we can build healthy lifestyles, healthy families, and healthy communities. Visit frpsclinics.org to meet our primary care providers and find the right care for you at Faith Regional Physician Services.
And again, we welcome you back to Arnold, Nebraska. Live coverage of the Sandhills Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Again, we are currently in a delay. Unfortunately, one of the competitors in our race today was forced to pull their car off of the road, so that has forced us to stop things as they try to clear off the course now and have tried to reposition all of the cars that were affected by that situation. Some of them they have sent back here to the starting line. Others, we are told, may even be reset and restarted out on the track itself. But right now, organizers and volunteers are trying to work together to make sure that the course is back where it needs to be so that we can restart the race. Not sure yet as to how long our delay will continue to be, so we will just do our best to try to keep you informed as best we can, and we will try to fill time here on our end as they get ready to restart the race here in Arnold, Nebraska. Again, this is the third really main event of the festivities that are held here regarding the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Of course, another road race was added to the event a few years ago. That's the Loop-to-Loop race, another road race that takes place up in the Halsey and Purdom area of Nebraska, and that was run on Thursday. And then yesterday it was all about the speed, as many of these competitors who are driving in the race today also competed in the half-mile and 1 mile shootout, which happens around the Callaway and Cozad areas. And awards for all of these events will be handed out later on tonight. Of course, you'll have the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, which will be decided here today, and then also awards being presented for the half-mile and 1 mile shootout, and also for the Loop-to-Loop race that took place back on Thursday. As we go back to some of the happenings of yesterday and the 1 mile and half-mile shootout, of course, everybody is looking to go as fast as they can within a half-mile or 1 mile span, depending on what category they choose to enter. But one of the goals is not just to go fast, but also try to average your speed, as the competitors are trying to do here in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. So in the 1 mile and half-mile shootout, each driver gets the opportunity to make 3 runs. And then what they attempt to do is try to average their speed in all 3 of those runs. And Jason Roeder yesterday did something really kind of amazing, and that is he was able to hit the exact mile-per-hour mark on each of his 3 runs. In Run 1, he went 154.9. He did that in Run 2 and did that in his final run of the day in yesterday's 1 mile shootout. So to do that in 3 consecutive runs in a mile really is pretty amazing. And Jason was the only one to do that. I believe there may have been a couple of competitors that did that yesterday, that did that last year, but Jason was the only one that was able to accomplish that feat yesterday. I'm rejoined again by my partner, Jeremy Shipe. And Jeremy, you had the opportunity to be there and witness the half-mile and 1 mile shootout. And certainly what that person did, hitting the mark on all 3 times, I know was really fun to watch. But again, the spectators go out there to just watch these cars go really fast, and there were some impressive mile-per-hour speeds that were put in.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking at some of the speeds right now. The fastest car was the last car to go in the 1 mile shootout. Jeremy Bolt was the driver, and his fastest time was his first run, 198.5 miles per hour. A couple of other fast times as I scroll over the list here. Eric Schmidt at a 189.9 in his number 11 car. And then looking at some of the half-mile shootout numbers, see if I can locate some of those. In a half-mile, there's a 149.4 from the 555 of Kirk Sharp. 149 miles an hour in a half a mile is absolutely amazing. And I believe that's the fastest half-mile speed that I'm seeing. No other 1 mile times, Jared Helg in his 12 car hit a 186.2, 173.4 by RT Green, a 190 by Kirk Wolfenbarger. So lots of super fast times. Kevin Miller, the second fastest time in the 1 mile shootout with 193.7 miles per hour.
All right. Well, we will continue to do the best that we can in filling time here until we get restarted with the race. Again, we did have a report of a citizen that had made their way out onto the road, and that is a situation that they're trying to clear up too. I mean, obviously, you have to make sure that the course is completely clear for the competitors when they take off. So that kind of seems to be what is happening right now, and that is just making sure that the course is clear, making sure that all of the cars are reset in the appropriate position, and then when everything comes together, Jeremy, we will resume racing here today.
And one good sign is that I see a bunch of the drivers kind of putting on their fire suit jackets and their helmets and their neck braces, and they're kind of getting everything set up and, in fact, doing some little stretches in their cars and stuff, getting ready to go out on the course. So that looks like a good sign. So maybe we'll be back here to racing action very, very soon.
So we will just continue to stay on scene here, keep you updated. We're going to take another break, and then when we come back, we'll have some more information for you and hopefully be a lot closer to resuming racing here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. So we will continue with more from here in Arnold after this 3-minute timeout.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout Contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.
Have you ever wondered what's behind the doors of Valley Vet Fashion Direct in Marysville? See, this isn't just a vet supply store. They carry a large selection of all kinds of boots, work, fashion, or casual, for all ages. Make sure you check out the sales selection to steal a deal. Perfect your look with their variety of jeans, shirts, and accessories. And if you can't find your size in the store, chances are they have it in their huge warehouse. Valley Vet Fashion Direct on Highway 36 in Marysville, open 7 days a week.
Safety, reliability, and the most propane storage in the region. Solutions and service you can count on with Farmers Pride, the trusted supplier of propane for over 50 years. With scheduled delivery and budget and prepay plans, Farmers Pride has the right solution to fit your propane needs. Farmers Pride offers residential, agricultural, and commercial propane sales and service across the Siouxland area. Farmers Pride, in the field, on your farm, in your community.
There's nothing News Channel Nebraska loves more than to tell the unique stories of small-town Nebraska, highlighting stories of their successes and sharing the pride they feel, putting the spotlight on their community to show all of Nebraska that their small town matters. Tune in to News Channel Nebraska to catch the latest Small Towns Matter story, brought to you by United Healthcare.
Aurora Cooperative is bringing your Nebraska corn full circle by using the bushels grown locally to create E-Power E15 blended gasoline. Safe to use in almost all vehicles, E15 not only provides a more affordable option at the pump, it provides you with a higher octane. Want to find out more about the benefits of E-Power E15 or where you can fill up? Log on to auroracoop.com. Your corn, from field to fuel, is growing our workforce and economy and makes us tougher together. Aurora and you.
Here at J-Tech, we almost take our jobs too seriously. Kids! Morning, Solar! Windows, your glass is smudged. Gutter! You're all dirty, buddy!
There's my little exterior experts.
Roof is leaking. It's your turn.
And we bring you back to Arnold, Nebraska, and as you can hear in the background, we have resumed racing, Jeremy.
All right, back at it, and we started back up with car 125, Jerry Cox. Not all of the cars after car number 94 that had the technical problem came back, but like Brent said earlier, some of those cars, they may have started in the middle of the course at a time checkpoint or something like that. there's a chance that maybe they'll bring them back to the start line a little bit later as well, or maybe their times they didn't feel were affected. So we'll just continue on with sending back these cars out onto the track. And up next is 174, Bill Morton and Kerry Morton in that Subaru hatch. It's kind of fun. We get to see these cars again.
Yeah, right. Yeah, of course, Bill and Kerry were two people that were certainly affected by the situation, and so they brought them all the way back to the start line. So this is basically a restart for them. They both are out of Waukee, Iowa. Bill is an IT professional at Des Moines University.
And there comes the sun, Brent.
Yes, it's coming out in full force, isn't it?
It's hot on my face already. In fact, making it kind of hard to see, honestly. So now they've got this two-line situation going on, so they're bringing up cars in the left-hand line or the right-hand line if you're looking at it from the nose of the cars. And so they'll bring them up first, and then they'll bring up the cars next to them. And pretty soon, here a few cars down the line, we'll be back into regular racing lineup.
And again, folks, we do remind you that we are in the middle of the 110-mile-an-hour class. That is where we are currently located. Again, the goal of these drivers and competitors today to go out on this course and try to average as close to that speed that they can. We have several different mile-per-hour divisions. We had an 80, a 90 extreme, a 90, 95. They are all completed. We saw the 120s already go out today, the 115s. They've completed their opening leg. Now we're currently in the 110-mile-an-hour class. And again, the goal of these competitors is to try to average as close to that speed as they possibly can, Jeremy, on the 2 laps that they'll be running today.
So car 186 will be the next car to do that. Ward Heinrich in that 06 Subaru. In the Subaru blue color. Lots of them have that color. In fact, I have a Subaru that's the exact same color. I don't think it's quite as fast, though.
Of course, Ward from San Antonio, Texas, and kind of glad Ward came back because I'm looking at his bio here, and he makes the comment that this is a swan song of 40 to 50 years of racing, which began with drag racing. So this may very well be Ward's final run here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, and we're certainly that he came back here in 2019.
Up next, car 207 to take another stab at the track. And then I believe we have 2 cars after that, and we'll be back on regular schedule. So many of these cars, they line up several of the classes back to back to back all the way down the street into Arnold. And they've been waiting in their cars for a while, maybe not anticipating they were going to wait this long. But they'll get all warmed up and all amped back up. I'm sure their heart rate hasn't gone down one little bit all this time getting ready to race. John Lucan out on the track next, and off he goes. Here comes the white number 70 Dodge Viper, 2016. So we'll have a countdown, get plenty of space in between the cars on the track. Hopefully we'll be able to go forward without any other delays here. Of course, that's all of the racers' goal, is to get out on the course without any problems and make it to the halfway point before coming back this direction. But you know, engine problems happen. They happen in our everyday cars, and they happen in race cars too. So it's just something you have to deal with when it comes up. So hopefully the Volkswagen Beetle of Zeke Peterson and Ryan Conover is okay. And if we have any more updates on the situation there, we'll try to bring them to you.
And as Chris takes off, again, you can't help but, again, commend the people who have put together this race, the communication, the teamwork, that was shown in this instance, Jeremy. I mean, to number one, make sure everybody was okay, and then to make sure that everybody got repositioned where they needed to be to keep the integrity of the race solid today. and then to make sure that the course was cleared off again. Takes a lot of communication, a lot of teamwork to do that, and you saw this group really do that to perfection here in the last few minutes.
Yeah, they went through the checks that were necessary. They made sure that everything was cleared off of the course, and that means that these drivers can go out confidently out onto the road and know that it's going to be a safe experience. 234, Brian Mizlanka is at the starting line, ready to go, and there he goes. That brings up car 304 to the starting line. This is Jack Martin and Scott Patton. They were the original next cars to start out on the course before the radio came back and said that there was a problem on the track. Now, Brent, I got to give a shout out here, because when they were stopped at the starting line and they cracked open the door to talk to these two, they had 95.3 on the radio. They're listening to us as they're going down the track. So thank you very much, Jack and Scott, for listening on the radio. You guys rock. And thank you very much for coming to the Sork.
They're out of Hutchinson, Kansas, and they're just about ready to get their lights and take off on the course once again.
Again, we do hear about a lot of drivers listening to 95.3. The shootout, it's handy because you know your speed after you go through the course. And then, of course, you can hear updates about what's going on the race while you're going down the track. So they are off and running, and that brings up a Porsche. Had a few Porsches so far here in the races today. And this one has the 377 on the side. This is T. David Green. He's got Tom Green with him. A 2010 Porsche, sharp-looking car.
And they come to us from California. T. David Green from Carlsbad, California, making the long journey up here to Nebraska, and we appreciate it very much. Again, just amazes me, Jeremy, at from where people will come to participate in this event, and it really kind of shows you how popular road racing has become. Now, this isn't the only road race in the country. I mean, there are several around the United States, but it has become a very popular sport, and you can tell that a lot of people are involved in it when you look at how far they come to participate in a race that is right out in the middle of Nebraska somewhere.
And it certainly doesn't help, or it certainly does help, rather, that the race is in Nebraska. It's right in the middle of the United States, and that maybe makes it easier for a lot of these guys to drive out here and participate, whether they trailer or drive. And there's a lot of beautiful things that you can see when you're driving from the east, west, north, or south when coming to Nebraska. So a lot of them use it as a vacation opportunity. Car number 6, Chris Kuzinski and Jeff Bowers are up next. This is a 77 Cobra. I don't know if they've got a radio in that thing, but I think even if they did, they wouldn't be able to turn it up loud enough to hear us. That's loud.
Chris is from Las Vegas, Nevada. Jeff is a local boy from Arnold, serving as the navigator, and we'll just let you listen to their start.
Oh boy, you almost killed it.
Yeah, just almost killed it twice, but they're going now.
That's one of the situations you run into when you've got a heavy cam and you step into it a little bit. Great for power and torque. Sometimes can catch your engine off guard and kill it a little bit, but he controlled it well, and they're cruising down the road to set their time. Again, we're in the 110 mile per hour class. Car 500 is up next. We've got this car, the 20th car, and then 5 more after to round out the 110 mile per hour class. This is John Huff and Joe Franson in a 1970 Plymouth Barracuda.
John is from Casper, Wyoming. Says Sork is the highlight of his summer. People are great, the racing is great, and the food is great.
A little chirp of the tires there as he takes off. Getting a couple of pretty good black lines here on the road, as most of them are starting at the start line, if not a little bit behind them. And if you didn't know this race happened and you just happened to be going on this road, you'd be like, man, someone came here and did a bunch of burnouts right outside of town. What's the deal? Car 505 is next. This is Casey Richards and Bill Mischnick, an 05 Porsche 911S.
Couple of more guys from Omaha, Nebraska, coming to Arnold for the racing activities here today.
Cool looking Porsche. These things are great for racing because, you know, they're a two-door. There's not much room in the back anyway, so you might as well put a roll cage back there and race it.
Casey says he purchased this car a couple of years ago after a couple of years of searching for the right one, but he ended up with the number 505 this year. Says by chance he ended up with that number, and that is the car that he's driving in this year's edition of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
There's another Sork Lifer sticker with a bunch of stars around it. This is Kevin Capener in a 2019 Corvette. It's black. Boy, those 2019 Corvettes are sharp.
Kevin comes to us from Idaho Falls, Idaho. A lot of experience in open road racing. Been in the Nevada Open Road Race, the Miller Motorsports Park in Utah, a 5-mile track. Then, of course, here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. He's not afraid to say it, though. Of all, the Sandhills Open Road Challenge is the best, most friendliest, and greatest town in America.
He's already done some modifications to that car, even though it's brand new this year. Car 602 up next, our third to last car, driven by CJ Swanson. Steve Swanson is the navigator. This is an 03 Corvette.
CJ is from Omaha, Nebraska. Navigator Steve is from Seward. Steve, a mechanic in Seward, Nebraska. CJ has been racing at Sork since 2014. He's an engineer and lives in Springfield, Nebraska. And it's great to have CJ and Steve with us here this year.
I can already hear Nick Ekberg like a block and a half away, getting his car up here, getting ready to run. Folks, that's the loudest car I think I've ever seen in my life.
I think he might even be listening to you and revving it up a little bit.
Oh boy, it's a lot of fun to watch Nick take off, and you folks watching on News Channel Nebraska will find out why here soon. A few times he's had some pretty good burnouts here at the starting line. Hopefully we'll see another good one. Car 625 is up next. Ryan Rusher, the driver. Brad Wheelhouse, the navigator.
A couple more guys from South Dakota joining us. Ryan from Yankton and Brad from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Running again this year in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And they, like so many, thank the families that open up their houses and the rest of the community for welcoming in everybody for this activity.
This again, our second to last car. We'll end out the round with a 2016 Porsche.
And when you say second to last car, that's in this division,
In this
right?
division,
Yeah.
yes, correct.
We have one or two more mile per hour classes left. I think we have the 105 yet to go.
Yeah, this, yep, 105, and then that'll be the end.
Okay.
Yep. My grid is printed front back, and I've never been so hard on myself about being able to discern how to flip pages over, but I've done it every which way so far. But yes, this will be the last car of the 110 mile per hour class. AJ Ranth, a 2016 Porsche. It's silver in color. And then we'll get kicked off with our final cars of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge 2019. Besides the one delay we've experienced so far, it's been a very smooth running event yet again.
And even greater than that is the fact that it has been a safe event up to this point. So we are certainly hopeful that that will continue.
And you'll be going to the award ceremony later on today, and folks can check out a story about the awards that were given and kind of a wrap-up story of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge on sandhillsexpress.com. That'll be up there soon, of course, as soon as all of the racing is completed and the awards have been given. So check out that story on our website, sandhillsexpress.com. So we're getting ready to start our last class of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge 2019. Tech speed remains at 145. The target speed, or average speed they're shooting for, is 115. So the first car, well, maybe I'm confused here. Hold on. I'm looking at the wrong list. 280. All right, give me a minute here, Brent. If you want to talk about these folks, I'm going to find what group this is. We might be missing a page here. Oh. Nope, found it.
Okay, all right.
What'd I tell you about?
That's okay.
I'm struggling with turning these pages, but this is Mike Black and Janet Black in a 2015 Corvette.
Yeah, Mike and Janet come to us from Garland, Texas. It's their 10th year to enter the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. They were also in the loop-to-loop race earlier this week as well, I believe. Mike and Janet, longtime residents of Garland, Texas. Mike is a retired electrical engineer, Janet a retired teacher, and it's great to have both of them back for the Sandhills Open Road Challenge this year.
So they'll be out on the course here in just over 10 seconds.
And again, this is the first car to go out in our 105-mile-an-hour class.
Pretty quiet, taking off on the course. Now, some of those Corvettes, I don't know if this was only an option on certain cars, but when they get their RPMs up to a certain speed and there's enough engine power there, the exhaust actually opens up extra chambers that allow more sound to escape. And sometimes you can hear that with these Corvettes. They're kind of quiet to begin with, and then as they speed up, they get a little bit louder. That's natural, but not to the extent that these Corvette sounds come out. Car 285, Tom Sorrells and Jeremy Riley. A 2010 Viper, red and black in color. Very cool two-tone looking car. As they get the 10-second signal. Car 48 will be the next car to roll up to the line. Beautiful looking Z06 Corvette. And then I think you can guess who's up next. Nick Eckberg in the 65 Corvette, making plenty of noise, a crowd favorite. And the Eckbergs have a great family story. If you folks get your hands on one of these programs, definitely give a read to that. Car 48, Denny Powell and Jared Beam in a 2019 Corvette, about to head out on the course right now.
Denny Powell, another one of our competitors from the state of Kansas, comes to us from Bel Air, Kansas. Good to have Denny with us again this year.
So he'll get the 10-second signal here as he prepares to go out on the course. I can't tell you if his car is loud or not because the car behind him is so ridiculously loud. Yeah, see, it is pretty loud. Not as loud as that one, though. So Nick Eckberg and Lyle Eckberg are in this 65 Corvette, and they are Sork lifers through and through. They're ready to go out on the course in their noisy vehicle again. And like I said, very cool. It's a family affair for them. Yep. They are both part owners in a Napa auto store.
Well, they've owned this car for over 30 years. They bring it back to the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. They come to us from Wakefield, Nebraska. They get their cue, they'll watch for the light, and we will just allow you to enjoy the sound of Nick and Lyle Eckberg as they get ready for their run at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge here in 2019.
537 horsepower about to be put rubber onto the road, and it's going to be plenty loud. Here we go. But that just brings a smile to everybody's face around here. Everyone just kind of looks at each other and is like, man, that's crazy. Very cool. Car 133 up next, Joe Wolf, the driver. Liz Franzen is the navigator, a 2016 Corvette. Another black on black on black Corvette with a little hint of yellow on the wheels. Very tastefully done.
Joe from Pierre, South Dakota. Good number of competitors from the state of South Dakota come and join us every year for the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Probably safe to say that they do some cruising in the Black Hills in these Corvettes. That'd be a beautiful drive up there. Beautiful country. So he's waiting for his light countdown to head out on the course. They press go on their timing equipment and they are off and shooting for that average speed of 105 miles per hour. Car 144 now up to the line, Mark Smith, a 2012 Corvette. It's a gray Corvette with some black fender stripes on it. Looks really cool.
Mark is listed as another one of our rookie drivers making his first appearance here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. We've had several first-timers here this year, a lot of them especially in some of the slower mile-per-hour classes that we started the day with. Mark comes to us from Longview, Texas. We've had a lot of Texas folks with us for the race today as well. And Mark gets ready for his initial run in the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
A lot of these drivers that have been doing the SORC for a long time will tell you this is where it all begins. The starting line your very first year, you get hooked, and we're watching it possibly happen right there as they go out on the course. Car 486 up next, Barry Lohman and Lanny Lohman. 07 Corvette, deep dark blue with the dark windows. It's got a sticker on the side. I know it's a company, but it's a good indicator of what all of these cars have: insane power.
Another Texan is Barry Lohman from Round Rock, Texas. Getting ready for his opening leg of this Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Again, the competitors will drive toward the Dunning area and then make their return trip back to Arnold. Both of these legs are timed. They're both calculated into their total run. And again, the competitors' goal is to try to average as close as they can to the mile-per-hour speed of the category that they have entered into.
Car 166 is up next, Todd Bertram. Steve Hansen is the navigator. 2016 Corvette. Says blue here. That is the darkest blue I have ever seen. Has a deep dark blue.
Todd is from Ames, Iowa. Lives in Ames, grew up in Sioux City. Says he got the sports car bug back in 1985 with the purchase of a 914. Todd getting ready for his opening run here at the Sandhills Open Road Challenge.
Todd's excited. He just gave about 4 or 5 thumbs up when he got the 10-second countdown. He's ready to go. Todd driving a manual, it sounds like, so he'll be doing the shifting and the driving. Lots of cars are automatics, but a few manuals here and there. Adds a new challenge to it. Car 250 up next, Don Heslip and Pat Kiafaber. 2018 Camaro, slick looking car there. Got it slammed down to the ground. Lots of performance parts. Look at the size of the brakes on the front of that car, Brett. That is amazing.
Don is another competitor that comes to us from the state of Virginia. He's also listed as a rookie driver in this year's competition. So Don getting his first taste of the SORC activities and of the road race. Don from North Chesterfield, Virginia.
Gets that car revved up and across the line, out and running. Here's a cool looking car up next, the 433 Cam Ewalt and Alan Ewalt 73 Plymouth Cuda. And you folks are familiar with Ewalt's Grocery? Well, here they are.
Yeah, Cam is from Blair, Alan of Thetford, Nebraska. Cam's the driver of this Cuda, and his father Alan serving as the navigator. Again, always great to see the locals get involved with this Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Of course, Thetford not too far away from the Arnold area.
And they're off and running. That brings forward a yellow Corvette. This is Jeff Graff. 1995 Corvette is what he's driving today in this final class of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge, the 105 mile per hour class.
Jeff from Springfield, Minnesota. Always looks forward to getting back to Arnold each and every year. And he, like so many, want to send out his thank yous to everyone who makes this race such a nice event and experience every year. And again, kind of coming toward the end of things now, just a few cars left to send out on the first leg of their Sandhills Open Road Challenge. And then we will be done here at the starting line for another year.
Leaving plenty of time in between these cars just because that tech speed is high at 140 miles an hour. Again, that's the maximum speed they can go. Their target speed much lower at 105. So that means you want to take your turns at a consistent speed and then be able to cancel it out with the straightaways. And these folks that are doing it in the car by themselves, I don't know how they do it. It would be hard enough for me to be able to drive down this course, let alone try to average a certain speed while also keeping my eyes on the road. Sometimes they're looking at a stopwatch. They're looking at, I've seen a sheet of paper hanging in the window telling them what turns are upcoming and what speed they need to be going at certain points. It all comes into account when these drivers are going out by themselves, and Jeff Graff is doing just that. So he clicks the stopwatch and heads out. That brings up the 462 of Jason Rader. He's got Kate Rader with him. The 2012 orange Mustang Boss 302.
Jason and Kate, a couple of more competitors from the capital city. They come to us from Lincoln, Nebraska. It's their 8th year for SORC. Couldn't be more excited, it says. All summer they look forward to hanging out with their friends here in the Arnold area. And they too sent out a big thank you to the SORC board and all of the volunteers who work so hard throughout the year to make their summer trip to Arnold a great one. And speaking of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge board and committee, they are the ones that are making it possible for this event to be televised for you today on News Channel Nebraska, and we certainly appreciate their support of that.
A little bit of a stutter there at the start, but they got their foot into it and they are out on the course now. That brings forward another Mustang, this one a 2015, Kevin Miller and Bruce Osborne. It's all black. It's even got a parachute on the back that's black as well. So they are definitely used to going fast in this car.
Kevin and Bruce from Littleton, Colorado. Kevin's an electrical engineer from Littleton with 2 kids, Greg and Rachel. Bruce, a consulting electrical engineer in Littleton, Colorado. They have relatives not too far away in Kozad, Nebraska. And it's great to have them here as part of SORC 2019.
Powerful car there. That brings forward our second to last competitor here today, Ken Hodges and his navigator Les Peterson. 2007 Corvette. It's red. It's got the fender stripes on it, and they're ready to go down the track.
Two more from the state of Colorado. Ken's from Julesburg, Les from Ovid, Colorado. It's their 13th year participating in SORC. They're both farmers from the Julesburg, Colorado area, and they have a love for fast Corvettes.
Well, that's good because he's in one. A little over 10 seconds away from heading down the track.
And we're just about ready to welcome our final competitor of the day.
And here he comes up to the line now. Les Steinhoff. Mike Tehan in there as well.
Les is from California. Mike, kind of a local kid, Halsey, Nebraska. Of course, that is where the loop-to-loop race runs, which has been added to the SORC festivities. And I think a lot of these competitors have really liked the addition of that loop-to-loop race. Chance for them to get in a couple of road races when they come this direction. Mike Tehan of Halsey serving as the navigator today in our final car that will take off from Arnold, Nebraska.
Runs nice and quiet. We'll see if this is one of those Corvettes that really wraps up when you step your foot into it. I have a feeling it is. There it is. Did you hear it?
I did.
Nothing like a Corvette.
Well, there you go, folks. We have made it. Everybody is off and running. We had a couple of little delays. One delay that kind of stopped us for quite a few minutes. But all in all, Jeremy, it was a successful opening leg. Everybody is out on the course. We trust and pray that everything will continue to be run safely. Of course, the delays that we did have had nothing to do with, anything like a wreck or anything like that, and so we're certainly thankful for that. We trust that the return trip for these ladies and gentlemen coming back will work the same way.
Yeah, and speaking of that return trip, if you want to continue to hear coverage of that, keep it tuned to 95.3 FM and KBBN.com. As our own Dave Burney will be covering that. He'll be talking to racers, getting kind of a first-hand perspective from them about what the SORC is all about. And, of course, none of this could be brought to you without some wonderful sponsors.
Yes, and before we go for our portion of this broadcast, we want to, again, send out a big thank you to the sponsors who are bringing you coverage on the radio, which is KBBN, Broken Bow, Nebraska. And they include A1 Auto Repair, Reed's Food Center, State Farm Insurance, Donna Cahill, your local agent. Also, Govier Brothers Mortuary, the Nebraska State Bank, Mills Hardware and Feed of Arnold, Trotter Service of Broken Bow, Winquist Auto in Broken Bow, Grazer's Bar and Grill in Arnold, Agribest Feeds of Callaway, LB Custom Chrome and Detail in Broken Bow, and Shotgun Annie's Saloon and Grill in Callaway. And before we wrap it up for our television coverage today, Jeremy, we want to say a big thank you to Ethan and his crew with News Channel Nebraska for bringing you folks the pictures that you saw on television or perhaps on the live feed that you watched over the internet. And we again want to say a big thank you to everybody on the SORC board, the Sandhills Open Road Challenge Committee, who made this television coverage possible. It was a real thrill for us to be a part of it. And again, we want to say thanks to Ethan and his crew for being here, and we hope that all of you enjoyed the television broadcast today.
And again, folks, if you're coming in here towards the end of the broadcast and you're like, shoot, I missed that racer I was tuning in to watch, keep your eye on newschannelnebraska.com because a start-to-finish recording will be available there for you that you can check out. Just go to the NCN Sports Now drop-down menu on newschannelnebraska.com. And where it says replay, there will be one there for you to check out.
All right, again, we remind you, if you're listening to us on radio, KBBN 95.3 FM, recognized as the official voice of SORC, Dave Burney, our good friend, will be having coverage of the return trip for you. You can continue to follow that on KBBN 95.3 FM. But that will wrap up our coverage on News Channel Nebraska. Again, for Ethan and his crew, for Jeremy Scheib, my name is Brent Apperson. So long, everybody.
With unmatched hospitality, the people of Arnold and Custer County look forward to each August as spectators throng to watch the Shootout, Parade, Road Race, and Burnout Contest. All part of the Sandhills Open Road Challenge. Drivers from more than 40 states in Canada come to race through the scenic Nebraska Sandhills, arguably the most demanding event of its kind in America. The SORC and over 200 volunteers work together to create a family atmosphere. All event profits go back to the community, benefiting volunteer fire and rescue departments, scholarship funds, and more. The SORC and the community of Arnold, a partnership for the future.